a few problems. So now they're all out there. They're playing an aggressive form of footy under Adam Simpson. And aggressive, I mean a pressing up style of defence, a really modern style. So, yeah, they've got everything going in the right direction.
There's 4 players for me. Can they cover Kennedy? Can they cover Prittis in the midfield? Can they control Hearn in that back half, or McGovern for that matter, and Nat Nui? If the Crows can break even with those particular players, and I don't know whether you're going to tag or whether Selwood's going to go to Paddy or whatnot, but how do you see those 4 critical players for West Coast? Because they are match winners, all of them.
No doubt. Oh, look, I think the one that's going to be the hardest to subdue is going to be Nick Nat Nui. And now he's difficult because he's not a high possession player, so that's the good thing, but the influence that he can have in terms of directing the ball, hit outs to advantage, and giving blokes like Prittis and that an advantage around the footy, it's very difficult to underestimate. Hearn's another one. They should be able to control Hearn if they're organised. I think Daniel Talia matches up well against Kennedy, so they'll be hoping that goes the way. The one that has had really good success against Adelaide is Maston. He's a guy who gets the ball on the outside. Blokes like Prittis and those guys feed it out to him, and he's the one that Adelaide have really struggled to contain over the last couple of years. So he's in really good form. He's had probably a career best season. So that'll be one they'll put some time into.
Lacroix in that 4?
Well, look, there's those sort of guys. But again, the other 2 players that I think always hurt the Crows and they both play through the midfield, although Rose has come in and he'll go back. Rosa and Gaff, don't they hurt the Crows on the outside?
Once again, Adelaide have always predominantly been that in and under contested side, and sometimes the blokes on the outside are the ones that hurt the most.
Well, he's going to set the scene again. The teams are going to line up on the rectangle of the centre circle there. The umpires in the middle. The Crows and West Coast Eagles, all the coaching staff on the boundary. And you're right, Johnny Walsall got a terrific ovation when he stepped out on the turf again. Scotty Camperelli's first game, and it'll be with a heavy heart today. David Noble down there, Matty Clark, Darren Milburn as well, and the crowd all stand up as one.
Just looking, every player is linked arm in arm, and on the end of the playing group is the coach, who then is linked with the umpiring fraternity, who have then linked with Carl Langdon, the MC, so it's a great sight.
Phil was tragically taken from us last week, and today represents the first opportunity for the Adelaide Crows to return to the field. The football family mourns a grateful man and sends its deepest condolences to the Walsh family and friends. On behalf of the Adelaide Crows and West Coast Eagles football clubs and the AFL, we ask you to join the players and umpires to observe a moment of silence. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Very well done once again. It's been handled superbly the last week and a bit. Well, all the AFL games. Scotty Camperelli comes off. Sammy Jacobs goes up to Scott and says, good luck, mate. All the best. It'll be very interesting, Bix, to see the start of the Adelaide Footy Club. So important today.
Yeah, look, it is. And it's funny, it's been one of their real Achilles heels in terms of previously, when Phil had been coaching, they hadn't been able to get out of the blocks. They would love to be able to do that tonight. And look, hopefully there'll be some nerves. There's no doubt about that. They'll be absolutely fired up, and hopefully they settle down quickly. Everyone gets a touch and they just settle those nerves and maybe get on the scoreboard and do everyone in the world.
Should get a Stephen Rowe fishing report. No breeze out there. Terrific night for footy, Rowie.
It is, excuse me, a glorious night. A couple of glassy-eyed players there. I thought Campo looked very emotional with it all, as you would expect. Bunga Hearns in the middle now. Taylor Walker also emotional. Goes in for the bounce down for this great name. 5 AFL for Agostino Mitsubishi. Going to be a cracking game, no question about that. And you're right, look, it was 21 degrees here at Subiaco Oval. Not a breeze to speak of. The flags are all at half-mast, lights are on. Taylor Walker won the toss. That's red. He's going to go towards the Subiaco end, which is the right of screen. Wills.
Cats and Geelong both 14 points apiece in that other game. And the Bulldogs, 10-goal last quarter, beating the Gold Coast Suns by 22 points. Essendon, their first win for quite a while, over disappointing Melbourne. Melbourne kicked 7-18, Essendon up by 9 points. So final huddle, players from both groups in a very tight huddle. And all the best to every player on the ground today. Let's hope they can just play the footy with a free spirit.
Would he be mentioning Phil here? Taylor Walker in that huddle, Bix?
Look, I think
players won.
I think he
live his standards.
Yeah, I think they would have talked about it a bit during the week, and he'd just be saying a few words now. Let's just a couple of things to focus on, and in the end, he would have left him with some words, I'm sure. But it's come to this, hasn't it? Now, I guess we've been waiting, and the players would have been waiting. What they do is they are footballers, and I guess some players would be looking to. This is the only way they can show some sort of response. It's the only way they can, show what Phil meant to them, is the way they go about their business today. So I'm sure there's players that are looking for that opportunity to put something on display here today.
So in the middle of the ground, we've got Paddy D. We've also got Jacobs, obviously, Richard Douglas and Scotty Thompson. Eddie Betts starting on the back of the line. Van Berlo on the outer side wing. D-Mac, you called it perfectly. We'll start on this side wing. So no real changes there, Bix?
No, nothing to speak of, really. Just looking at repeating the Subway subs again for Adelaide, Cam Ellis-Shulman, and for West Coast, Mark Hudson.
And McGovern on Tex Walker.
5 AFL for Agostino Mitsubishi. Here we go, the start of this great game. Up goes Nat Nui, wins it down to Prentice, kicks it straight up in the air. Nat Nui breaks up, it's almost marked it. Laird was there, coming through as Cripps, took it cleanly. Brown wraps him up, and there'll be a ball up in the true centre half-back position.
That was the big and the short of it, or the small and the short. It was Rory Laird flying against Nick Nat Nui.
He's a massive man, Nick Nat. And Rory Laird's one of the most improved footballers going around. Nat Nui got the tap again. Shuey in his 100th game tried to get it out. Pritter standing on the outside, normally on the inside. Comes out wide now. Gaff gets his first possession up towards half forward. Following on with Shuey. Got dragged down. Players converge. 4, 6, 8, 10 players at the fall of the ball. Umpire says, I'll take it. 40 out from goal.
How good was that tackle by Lee?
Yeah, very good. Just noticing Brodie Smith plonked behind the footy.
So Nat Nui again. Scotty Thompson couldn't take it. Jacobs could. Pumps it back towards the wing. Taylor Walker involved in a one-on-one. Wellingham got manhandled by Walker. Comes back to Hearn. On the outside now is Maston. Inside the forward 50. Kennedy. Well done by Talia. Got the ball to ground. Lacroix off the ground. And actually hits the post and goes out of bounds.
On the full. I think he socketed it off the ground. He's only 6 or 7 metres out. But it hit the point post on the full, and Jake Lever will get the kicking.
So Lever now come up on this western side. Pulled the kick, goes to Laird in that left-hand back pocket. Handballs back now to Lever. Did a terrific tackle. Shocking kick. Gaff can't get it. Shepherd couldn't either. Well done, Patrick Dangerfield. Gave it to his best mate, Lynch, to Douglas. A lot of people getting their hand on it now. Long loopy handball about 50 metres back to Hardigan. Gave it off to Laird. He comes up onto this near side wing. Behind his man there was Jenkins. Good mark by Wellingham. He hits the ground running. Right leg. That is a beautiful kick. And Legras has slipped down and taken a mark just inside 50. Now, he started like Eddie Betts on the back of the square. As soon as they win it, Bix, he drifts forward. He's got a mark. He'll have a shot at goal.
Yeah, look, he's not the player, if you're an Adelaide supporter, who you want to have the ball in hand. He is a dead-eye Dick, a sharpshooter, and he's going to take his shot. No real angle to speak of. He's going to kick from 51 metres out, so it'll test him for length. But I'm almost certain that he'll get the job done.
143 games and 318 goals. 2.2 goals a game, not bad.
24 this year too, Rowie.
And he's kicked 12 in the AFL game.
Against Essendon, Eddie had.
Unreal. So here he comes, Lacroix, going towards the city end. You'll hear the roar. Great. Oh, no. Big Saucy went up. I reckon he's got a fist on it. Oh, no, he's paid it. First goal to Lacroix, 6 points on the RAA scoreboard. 1 straight to no score. We've played 3 minutes first quarter.
Yeah, just a bit sloppy from Adelaide coming out of their defence. Rory Laird had the foot. He had some time, looked up, and there was an outnumber up the ground, and he just, instead of kicking it a bit longer and a bit higher to give that player, who was Josh Jenkins, a bit of a chance to run and jump at it, he kicked it low, a bit more like a dart, and it didn't give the forward a chance to really bring the ball to ground. And then Wellingham was a player who took the mark uncontested and then played on quickly and found Lacroix just on the 50-metre line. And just watching that replay, Jacobs about a metre behind the line when he got a hand on that.
Eagles with 4 guys over 22 goals. Leader is Josh Kennedy with 48. Lacroix now with 25. Dangerfield's first possession. He scurries away on his left boot. Kicks up towards half-forward flank. McGovern got in front of Walker. Walker tried to edge him out. Shuey again to Shepherd. Shepherd now to Gaff. They run it out so well. Hearn's in trouble. Betts forced the error, got to the ground. Betts picked his pocket, kicks out wide towards Jenkins. Jenkins didn't take the mark, doesn't win the free kick either. Riley Knight looking for his first possession. Rosa slipped it over to Shuey to Shepherd now. He's from the half-back flank. Gee, they're running in waves here. Lacroix did really well. Back to Rosa. Should have gone short out of free man. Kicks a little bit longer. The free man was Yo, and Yo picks it up. Yo for the second goal. Boy, that was scintillating play. End-to-end stuff. 10 players got involved. Yo ran hard, wasn't rewarded first picks, kept on running, got the crumb, and the Eagles lead by 12 points on the RAA scoreboard.
Well, talk about turnaround. Eddie Betts had a free player inside 50. He just put too much flight on the ball. Jenkins just had to sit under it. The spoil came, and then you're right, you called it as a wave. That's what it was. There was a chain of 5 or 6 handballs through the middle of the ground. Adelaide just kept coming up, trying to put pressure on, but they just couldn't get there, and they just kept finding that free player. And in the end, Hartigan did a good job with Darling to get the ball to ground, but there was the next player in, who was Yo, who picked the ball up, and a nice finish from about 30 metres out.
5 minutes on the paint away clock. Here we go, back in the middle. 12 points the margin, West Coast way. Big bounce by the ump. Nat Nui was enormous in the air to Shuey. That is outstanding. Left leg inside 50. Ball goes over the top of Sinclair. On the ground is led. Outstanding football to Lever. G's getting plenty of it. Gave it up to D-Mac. Could have gone short. Pulls the kick to Matty Wright. Centre wing grandstand side. Numbers went out again with West Coast. Shepherd went hard at it to Maston. Gave it off to Prittis. Gave the don't argue. Back to Maston. Gee, one chase, one, guys. About 5 of them were after him. Rosa gave it to McGovern. He steps around another 3. Goes short, finds Lacroix. Players lining up on this near side. Shuey, Prittis. Shuey's got it over the shoulder. That'll be a free kick.
Yeah, they're on
just outside 50. They are scary at the moment. 2 straight 12 to no score.
Shuey about his 4th possession. Kicks up towards the head of the goal square. Up they go almost to mark to Brodie Smith. Oh, Sinclair, another one.
No, free kick.
Oh, Sinclair kicked the goal. The umpire saying it's touched, I think, Bix.
No,
he paid the free?
Chopping, I thought he said.
Chopping?
The mark.
All right, so Brodie Smith, the big fella, did pretty well on the left boot. But so Adelaide now come out of the fence. Nice kick to Van Berlo. The former skipper marks the centre half-back, plays on quickly. Dangerfield slipped over, had to go hard. Muskie started well too. In fact, most of the Eagles have. They lead 2 straight. Adelaide yet to score. Lacroix was well sport from behind by Van Berlo. Here's Dangerfield again, trying to lift him. Laird's had plenty of it. Had it, lost it, got it back now. A little short kick out to Lynch. Lynch finds Henderson. No, the kick wasn't quite good enough. It's a 50-50 now. Rosa got it back to Marston. He's getting plenty of ball. Back to Rosa. Could have gone back to Marston. It goes out of bounds on the outer side.
Yeah. Adelaide just, they haven't quite hit the target a couple of times. The pressure's really tight. When West Coast get it, it's all on the body. It's handball, hand to foot. It's very good from West Coast.
5 AFL for Agostino Mitsubishi. 12 points to margin, West Coast way. Out of side wing. Nat Nui all over Saucy at the moment. But Saucy got a little hammer kick out of that pack. Well done, Gaff. Handballed up on the up. Gave it out now to Prittis, to Rosa. Gee, they're good on the outside of stoppage. Another inside 50. We'll get those stats shortly. Ball goes out the back. Henderson had to go. He does now. Handballs to Lever. Reckon that's his 5th possession on the right leg to the outer side. Beautiful leg. And Laird's mark right hand half-back flank. Those inside 50s are 7-1.
That's it. Yes, they're dominating at the moment. Adelaide just need to possess the ball here. Just be a little bit calmer.
Gee, Laird and also Lever, they're waxing those two. They've both had plenty of it. Probably leading Adelaide ball gatherers, Bix.
Yep, Laird and Lever. Well, Laird's had 6, Lever 5.
So Jakey Lever, game number 5. Kicked out looking for Nat Nui. Just shrugged his opponent. Thought could have given away a free kick. His kick was poor, looking for Hill. Coming through with Sinclair again. Lacroix's busy now to Scotty Selwood, to Prittis. Prittis can kick a goal and does. Gee, they look like anyone that's saying it's only match in 3 for the premiership. This side here are scary. They're running in waves. They're chock full of confidence. And Bix on the paint away clock only gone 8 minutes. They've got 3 straight.
Well, and just so efficient as well. They don't overpossess the footy. They're a kicking side. They get the kicks in there. And just looking at the numbers, 42 disposals, to West Coast. Adelaide have had 25. West Coast are going at 80% efficiency. Adelaide going at 64. So not only have they had so many more disposals, they've had so many more effective ones.
Nat Nui in ruck. That's where it's all starting. We'll get those stoppages shortly as well. So 3 straight 18. Adelaide yet to score, only one inside 50. RAA scoreboard margin 18 points. So Sinclair in the ruck. Well done, Jacobs wins it, but got out to Selwood. Selwood gave it off to Yo. He goes forward. G Mark was dropped by Hill. Good enough to get back on it. G Talia got his head ripped off, but numbers went out again with West Coast. Hill's back in there. Ball over the back. Prittis is doing some real heavy work. G Shuey got tackled by Paddy D. Good work there by Lever as well. He got monstered by Prittis, and there's a ball up right on the 50. So what have we played? 9 minutes on the paint away clock, and it is West Coast by 18.
Yeah, Crows not on yet.
Clearance is 5-2 West Coast weight.
Okay, it's at Senal forward now for the Eagles again. This time Gaff worked it forward, but a nice mark to Henderson on the last line. Just relieves the pressure. They need to get a bit of clean ball, hit a few targets. Not a great kick there. Prittis got a hand on it. Matty Wright got the crumbs. He's at half-back and under pressure. Jim Marston, I don't know what his stats are, Bix, but he's had plenty of it. Plays on quickly. Not a great kick. Clean bowl. Kennedy. Taylor's got to go back after. Eagles swarm in numbers. Might be holding the ball. Perhaps should have been. Yep. Crouch under pressure. No, it's going to come back holding the ball.
No, but he called play on advantage where Adelaide didn't. They took it, but they wasn't an advantage, and Jake Lever's just hacked it out of there and it's gone out of bounds. So just lack of composure there. You get a good decision in terms of holding the ball, and they just wanted to play on with it, and in the end it wasn't an advantage, and it goes out of bounds on the half-back flank.
Marston up to 7 possessions. Eagles lead by 18. Adelaide ended up near their forward 50 once. Dom Sheed couldn't take it. Gaff again gets it back to Sheed. They're all combining beautifully. The kick up towards full forward. Sinclair comes out. Laird again. He's been Adelaide's best in early stages. Back to D-Mac. Just finds his man, and that's Lever. So Laird and Lever over. They've been outstanding.
Henderson's the +1. Now Lever goes to the outer side. Laird and Lever show at the moment. Talia's marked at right-hand half-back flank. For Agostino Mitsubishi, 3 straight to no score. 10 minutes gone. Perfect weather here at Subiaco Oval. Bit of lull in play now. Talia goes up on the line. Walker flew. I must admit he looks sharp today. Bix will keep our eye on that. Maston to Selwood to the outer side. Missed his target. Schofield now runs back onto it. So only the second time it's been forward to centre for the Crows. He goes up onto that wing. Boog fly by Hill. Crashing through again is Henderson to D-Mac. He got rock and rolled in the end of it. Good work there by Crouch. Matty Crouch pulled the kick, and the mark's been taken out there. Is that his first touch? I reckon it is for Riley Knight.
Well, welcome to AFL footy, young man. And Bix said he's got a big motor, worked so hard. Knight on the outside on the centre wing.
Good boy.
Works up towards half forward. Walker caught behind, couldn't take possession. Van Berlo, he got manhandled. Cameron couldn't take it. The Eagles once again have plenty of numbers. McGovern had a cool head. Goes back towards Ellis. Ellis looked like he run out of bounds. Back to Hearn. Standing, started thumping, kick towards the winglet. Kick covered 60 metres off one step. Taylor Walker there, Crouch there. Crouch again. Kicks back towards the McGovern direction. He reads the ball so well and takes another intercept mark.
Yeah, terrific mark. We'll give that an Adelaide Fresh Tony a mark of the day. Comes out this near side. Yo will mark the ball. 18 points the margin. West Coast way. 12 minutes gone. They look the better team. Crows again have started poorly. Can understand that a bit this week. Yo now misses the kick. Thompson's got it. Handballs to Douglas. Can kick over the top to Charlie Cameron. He's going to mark it and could have gone on, but he's pulled up. And he's on about a 20-metre kick from, a slight angle, and he should kick this one, Vix.
Yeah, look, it was great play by Adelaide. Poor kick by Elliot Yeo. Went for the money ball in through the middle, overcooked it. Scotty Thompson intercepted the mark and then played on quickly. Richard Douglas received the handball, and then just a smart kick by Douglas. Didn't blaze away. Saw Charlie Cameron on his own.
Well, 12 goals for the year's not bad. He'd love 13. Well done, little Charlie Cameron. He gets his first. Give that a Phil Hoffman travel goal of the day. Well, a team goal set up by Tomo. 1 straight to Adelaide, trail the West Coast 3, margin 12, RAA scoreboard.
Well, that was Scotty Thompson's first touch. It was Charlie Cameron's first touch. They've got a few players, Adelaide, who haven't touched the ball. But that'll do the nerves. That'll settle them. There's no doubt about that. They just get on the board. It looks so much better, 3 goals to 1 than 3 goals to nothing. They just can take a deep breath now. I'm sure they'll all... The first 5 or 6 minutes they were just running around. There was a bit scattergun. But now that you put a play together, you're able to score. It just calms everything down. They look to try and settle play down now.
Quarter time at Etihad, Geelong by a point, 21-20 there. And the Bulldogs, a good win over the Gold Coast Suns after trailing by 4 or 5 goals. They won by almost 22 points the margin there. Back in the centre, Nat Nui jumped high. Umpire said, give it back to me. It was a poor bounce. They do that so often.
Just interesting. Both teams are starting with 2 spare players in their defensive 50. So it's Wellingham and looks like McGovern at one end.
Margin 12. Prentice again. Can he get it out? He always gets hand the ball. Just delivered it to
brilliant
Dangerfield now. Back towards Douglas. Did really well there. Broke a tackle. Lever. He's on a record high for him. He's only playing 5th game, but he's had plenty of possessions. So Brodie Smith now works along the wing. McGovern again almost. His own teammate spot in the looping handle to Scotty Selwood. Comes back now. Numbers into Rosa to Shepherd. Shepherd prepared to go way back now to Sinclair. He's been good this year too, Sinclair. Forced to stand up in a key role. Kicks through the centre. Back towards Selwood to Marston. He's brought his own footy. Kicks up towards half forward. It's a mark now to the Eagles, and they can have a shot on goal through Cripps. 55 out. He goes short. Trips into the pocket. Not a great kick. Oh, mark should have been taken by Henderson. Slipped through the fingers. Talia there as well. Scrubbed it back towards right. He's at half back. Banked it towards the wing. Shepherd in front. Walker did really well. Forced the error. Turn over to Lynch. Now here's danger. Lynch up towards Cameron. He's got round 1. Can he get round 2? Just work the ball inside the forward 50. Laird got a shocking back towards Riley Knight. Gets a shocking bounce. Ends up with McGovern to Wellingham, and the Eagles are away.
Oh, game of percentages, 12 points the margin now. West Coast way. Roser on the outer side wing. Does the look away now to Yo. He's been terrific this year for them. Outer side wing, pulls the kick into the pocket. And I reckon Sinclair's marked it right-hand half-forward flank. Goes back, goes long, puts it up in the air. Sitting under it is Kennedy. Big fly from behind. Henderson should have marked it. He didn't. Kennedy now's got the ball. Coming through is Van Berlo. Great work by Brown to Hardigan. Hardigan now just spots up a target, and Paddy D's been everywhere. Marks half-forward flank. Give that an Adelaide Fresh. Tony Marks, mark of the day.
Yeah, we said he'd have a good game. He does look energised. Patrick Dangerfield finds Douglas, runs through the centre of the main stadium. He's got Lynch, a nice kick too. Now Adelaide a chance. They're working in the Cameron direction again. He's got one little fella. Can look at the goals. Nonchalantly around the body. He's got 2. Charlie Cameron, 14th goal for the year, 2nd of the night. That's a Phil Hoffman travel goal of the night. And Adelaide all of a sudden they're back in the race, Bix, because the margin has been cut to 1 straight goal.
Well, there's the template to take on a high-pressing team like West Coast. So what Adelaide were able to do there, instead of kicking 50 metres away to where the West Coast numbers had 1 or 2 spares, it was Patrick Dangerfield's kick. He looked inside. It was a really risky kick, but he found Richard Douglas. Douglas sent another short kick to Lynch, and then they kicked over all the congestion, and Charlie Cameron again found himself out the back. He was on his own, 20 metres clear, accepted the ball on the bounce, and then just turned around and, as I said, nonchalantly laid the ball across the boot and put it right over the goal umpire's hat.
Phil Hoffman travel goal of the day, 6 points the margin. Played 18 minutes here in the first quarter. Perfect weather. Jacobs back on ball. Won again by Nat Nui. Shark by Douglas. Kicked around his body inside 50. Charlie Cameron's got to beat 8 of them. He can't. Taylor Walker's first touch. On his left leg. He'd love that to go in. Jenkins with one hand got it spoilt by Shepherd out of bounds right alongside that left-hand post.
Oh, I think my eyes lit up there. It looked as if Jenkins, the Guernsey, just got pulled away from his body. I thought maybe the umpire may have paid a free kick for holding.
Massive mismatch too. He's about a foot taller than Shepherd, so Josh Jenkins can impose himself here. Dangerfield tried to crash his way through. Marston in there again. Spills out to Douglas. Dougie tried to get it out. Couldn't do so. It was Ellis that finally got boot to ball. Goes towards the boundary now. Taylor Walker needs a good bounce. Got the worst possible bounce and allowed Sinclair to take the ball over the 50-metre arc. Right half forward for the Crows. Schofield, sorry.
Unlucky there, Adelaide. Taylor Walker, 10 metres on his opponent. The ball bounced sideways and bounced away from him straight to Schofield.
Margin 6 points. Adelaide have it 50 out from goal. Cameron's got a couple of goals to his credit. Getting better by the minute. Round the body goes Dangerfield. Goes into the pocket again. Diving attempt by Jenkins. And it spills off hands and goes out of play.
I think Adelaide like that matchup. They've sent Jenkins down deep. He's on Shepherd. If he can get some one-on-one contests, I think he'd be licking his chops against him.
Boundary throw it inside 50 for Crows. Trail by 6. Nat Nui wins it. Ball down. Shuey charges through 4 to stop it. Shocking kick. Cameron's going to get 3. Kicks around his body. Get in. He's kicked it out of bounds.
That was touched. On
the full. Was it touched? So a boundary throw in alongside that left-hand post. For Agostino Mitsubishi, West Coast 3 straight.
Just
Adelaide 2 straight, 6 points the margin.
Improvement from Adelaide. Just the last couple of minutes, got their hand on the ball a lot more. Their kicking efficiency is up over 70%.
Nat Nui, Jacobs wins it on the ground. Coming out is Eddie Betts in his pocket. Every pocket's his pocket. Handball's back now. Good work by Paddy. He's everywhere to Thompson. He gets kicked under pressure, goes forward. Oh, Douglas almost marked it. Coming through's D-Mac. As he kicked the goal, no, he's got a point. Gee, good hustle. Dougie's been busy, Paddy's been outstanding, Jacobs gets on top of Nat Nui, she'll be game on. Margin 5 on the RAA scoreboard.
Well, Bix, the mismatch is McGovern, I think, has gone off the ground. He was standing Walker, and now they've been forced to have Shepherd gone. Jenkins, Lacroix now. Mark's unattended on the half-back flank, kicks along the wing, right in front of us. Nat Nui's got 2 to contest with. From the back, Hardigan sport well. Marston again bounced off Taylor Walker too easy. Should have tackled him then. Prentice to Marston. He's up to double figures now. Kicks towards centre half forward. Bit of pushing and show ice with Mark. Darling. Jack Darling. Cripps runs on hard. But Darling's a thumping kick. And normally an accurate kick. He's not going to pass it off. Does like to have a shot, does Jack Darling. About 6'4". Big, tall, strong body. Black belt in Taekwondo.
Yo and Selwood were all running back towards goal with no one on him. They were flapping their gums like no tomorrow. He needs to kick this or he's going to get the Hungry Hippo stamp on his forehead.
Does he ever?
Kicked 6 goals the other week. Jack Darling right on the 50. Goes very close to the man on the mark. It's a good kick. You're right, Rory. He needed to kick that because he had 2 guys free. And the Eagles hit back with a goal. 20 minutes gone on the Painaway clock. Eagles 4 straight. Crows 2-1.
Adelaide would be disappointed with that because Taylor Walker had an opportunity to tackle and he chose to bump and the player just rolled straight off him, bumped him towards his own goal. He handballed to another player and all of a sudden they were going forward, kicked it long and this is one of the problems I think Adelaide have at different stages. Jake Lever, one-on-one versus Jack Darling, he's always going to struggle. He's been fantastic so far, Lever. He's had 8 disposals, but just isolated one-on-one. Darling just too strong and was just able to take that mark.
10th goal, Rowie to Darling in 4 games. He's going well.
He's a good player. 4 goals straight, 24 to 2-1, 13. 5 AFL for Agostino Mitsubishi. Back again, Nat Nui's outstanding in the middle. Gaff somehow got it out of his opponent's hands. Goes long inside 50. B. Smith flew, so too did Lever. Good work, Hardigan gave it to Smith. He goes out now to Brown in the pocket. Good little run from Crouch. He got down and got that ball. Left leg goes to the outer side wing. Is bobbling around. She's there. Thompson as well. She got around 1, 2, 3, then goes back inside 50. Fly from Sinclair. Great crumb there by Van Berlo. Oh, that's a terrific kick. The Lynch in the middle of the ground. Right comes through now. So 11 points West Coast way. Charlie Cameron. Can he get it over the top to Jenkins? The ball's sitting too long in the air. Jenkins marks and plays on. Runs in. Oh, he could have kicked an open goal. Gave it to the skipper. And Taylor Walker kicked it into the 3rd tier of the stand. Great team goal. Phil Hoffman treble goal. Crows get another one. They trail by 5.
I'll tell you what, when Adelaide have gone forward a couple of times, they've looked spectacular. Nathan Van Berlo, the reason I sort of scoffed in the background, he kicked it 35 metres a pass that went about a metre off the ground. It got really quickly to Tommy Lynch. They played on. Charlie Cameron, is he having some sort of game? He's getting in behind the defence. He was able to take the mark and then he wheeled around. All the players committed to Josh Jenkins. They tried to get there, and in their effort to get there, he actually marked it. They all went straight past him, and he just rolled around. It would have been a pretty difficult set shot. He was able just to handball off to Taylor Walker, who smacked it.
I love that he gave that to Taylor Walker, don't you? Jenkins could have ran into an open goal, but gave it to his skipper. I love that.
Yeah,
love it.
Get him on the board, I think, Rowie. And Charlie Cameron's been involved in all 3 goals and kicked a point as well. Prentice now to Shuey. It's game on. Little Eddie Betts in there, scurries after it. Good stuff, Adelaide. Crows go forward. Walker's got it. 60 out from going. He can get the carry. He's all pumped up. Now he's going to wheel around and go for home. Puts it up high. Will it get the carry? Jenkins pushing and shoving. Jenkins almost. Ball comes to ground. Marston again. Boys, he had a big first quarter. Spills it out towards Shepherd. Shepherd and Smith. Brody Smith. Out of bounds, 60 around from Adelaide's goal.
Well, in the end, it probably wasn't the greatest option from Walker. He didn't hit it right. He just got right underneath, and he probably kicked it from just outside 60. Jenkins was fantastic. Competed against 3 and got at the ground, but the West Coast just got back there a bit quicker.
I just sense he's going to kick the big bomb there, Bix. Sinclair gets to the ground again. Prentice fighting hard as he always does. With him is Crouch. Good battle that one. They'll go head to head. Prentice and Crouch and a bounce down.
I just noticed they've matched up alongside.
Don't worry about that. Sinclair, Jacobs, Cameron out the back. Socket off the ground again by Crouch. Here's a ball magnum. Handball up. That was brilliant to Van Berlo. Got monster. Taylor Walker in the pocket. Look away. Handball gave it back to Paddy. Goes long into the forward line. Eddie Betts. He's marked the miraculous one, kicks around his body. I love him. Nobody in the world can do that. Eddie Betts has marked the 10 deep off a one step, kicked the goal, left-hand pocket. Phil Walsh travelled goal of the day. They've gotten around him. They are hugging him. That has got the team up. Brilliant football.
Well, it was great by Matt Crouch. He got all that. He won the hardball on the bottom of the pack. But then it was just a series of half chances. Nathan Van Berlo just got a foot on it. Taylor Walker was the next one. He gave a little look-away handball to Patrick Dangerfield, who was about a centimetre inside the boundary line. He kicked the left footer that just stayed in. Eddie Betts just marked it, and then he played on and kicked a miraculous goal. Talk about making something out of nothing. There was about 5 things that had to go right, and they all did. That was a great team goal. Look, it's just an exciting game right now. They look up and about, Adelaide.
Yeah, I think he kissed his arm for Phil Walsh, well done, Eddie Betts. So Betts and Walker both on the board. Cameron with a couple. Free kick will go the way of the Eagles for shepherding.
That is ridiculous, son.
So Nat Nui just feeds it off. They run off the back line through Gaff. Gaff spears a pass up towards the big fella, and Sinclair couldn't bend down to get it. Had to go again. It goes out of bounds this time in the Eagles forward half, about 60 around from their goal.
Just to explain that free kick in the centre square, Sam Jacobs ran up, stood on the line, and Nick Nat Nui jumped up and then come down and landed, and he's paid a free kick against Jacobs for shepherding.
That's a joke.
Crows lead by a point after the Eagles kick the first 3 goals of the game, so they know they've got a game on their hand. There's been some promising signs moving the ball forward too, Bix.
Yeah, look, their use by foot in the second half of the quarter is very good. They're 72% disposal efficiency. Maston's had 12. Just see if they might try a cooler on him at some stage.
Van Berlo near him. Nat Nui plucked it out of the air. Dom Sheed worked it another 10 metres forward. Yo tried to take it. They grab hold of him. So the efforts from Adelaide really have improved. They were like rabbits in the headlights early, but now they're well and truly on track. In fact, they lead by a point.
What do you do with Nat Nui? Third man up. He is just all over Saucy at the moment. He will get on top of him because Sauce can tend to do that. Won another one. Nat Nui down onto the ground. Well sharked there by D-Mac. Gave it off to Laird. What a year this lad's having. Hammer kick out of the pack. Out the back was Cripps. Good work by Jenkins. Got off one, off the other. Orange boots.
Walker's
out
the back.
In front of Lynch. If he takes this, he can get it onto Walker. He kicks it now inside 50.
Kick.
Walker's going to run onto it. It's bouncing. Still bouncing. It's wobbling. Oh, it's a shocking bounce. Walker with pace. Goal! Taylor Walker. The Crows have got 3 of their 4 goals behind the press of West Coast with fast break football. Lynch was brilliant. Walker outstanding. That's his second. Phil Walsh treble goal today.
If you go back one step further, it was Jenkins who flew, brought the ball to ground, and then when the ball hit the ground, he actually pushed off 2 West Coast Eagles opponents. And once he did that, he found himself in space. And Lynch, he was, what do you say, Rowie, onto it like a mouse in a sugar bag. He was already going out the back. And it was a good kick by Jenkins, and then once Lynch did it, he was under pressure and he was able to hook the ball around to Taylor Walker. So Taylor Walker, 2 goals, both from within the goal square.
Gee, it's a goal fest at the moment. 9 goals scored. In the other game, it's Kangaroos leading the Cats by 8 points. It's halfway through the second quarter. Nat Nui jumps at it again, clearly above Jacobs. Thompson got the crumbs. Gee, big bodies there. Gaff goes to ground. And Adelaide's work rate is outstanding at the moment.
Adelaide kicked 5 of the last 6 goals. It was 3-0 West Coast way. Now we're 4 straight to West Coast, 5-1 to Adelaide.
Well, they're miserly normally. Bix, the West Coast defensive, very hard to score against them. Huey slips out a handball out wide to Scotty Selwood. Backdoors it to Rose now. He's on the wing. Puts up a high ball. Laird's got to go hard at the back. Gee, courage from Laird.
Oh, wow.
Hill and Laird, they both went hard at it. He's a gutsy little fella as Laird. They rush up to him, about 5 Crows, say, well done, young man. He'd be high up in their best and fairest this year. Just about every game he's played so well.
Just watching the replay there, both players, I should say, eyes only for the footy. Both came from about 25 metres away.
Right-hand half-back flank for the Crows. Jacobs will get a free kick and ruck here. Umpire third deep will pay it. No, it's going to go to Scotty Thompson. Shuey held him in that stoppage. Crows by 7 points. Laird now in a little bit of trouble. Had to handball back to Thompson. He had to handball over the top to Brown. He's on the outer side wing. He gets around his opponent, Prentice. Goes short with that leg. Gee, it was was too short. D-Mac with the crumb, got it off the paddy. Steps inside the paddy. He comes onto the half-forward flank. Arches his back, goes long inside 50. Fly out the back. Joe Cairns takes a mark on the goal square. Boy, oh boy, their efficiency inside 50. 7 inside 50s for 6 scoring shots. He's going to kick his first.
Take my hat off to Eddie Betts. He was so clever then. We'll watch it on the replay while Jenkins is setting up. But Jenkins' man was 2 or 3 metres in front of him, and he was going to come back hard on Josh Jenkins. Eddie Betts saw this. He ran up and just parked himself in between the West Coast player and Josh Jenkins, and Jenkins marked unopposed.
Slide angle, 20 metres out. Josh Jenkins comes in with those orange boots and goes bang! Crows by 13 on the RAA scoreboard.
Well, this has been exhilarating stuff. They've kicked straight, which is great, 6 from 7. And just the way they've moved the ball has been very exciting. They've taken some chances, they've used some handball, they've used short passes, but then when players have been able to get out in space, and that time was Patrick Dangerfield, he's Adelaide's leading possession winner, he's had 9 at 90% disposal efficiency. He just was able to run and carry, and once again, Josh Jenkins marked that ball as the deepest player in Adelaide's forward line. All the other West Coast Eagles defenders were caught in front of him, and the amount of times Adelaide got in behind would be worrying Adam Simpson.
Crows have kicked 6 of the last 7 goals, 29 gone on the paying away clock. Jenkins looks sharp, Cameron sharp, Walker, Dangerfield's had a big impact. All of a sudden the Eagles really up against it. Crouch in there, working overtime. Well done, Matty Crouch. Bounce up.
They've won every single centre square knock, and the Crows, I'd love to get their stats out of the centre square. Their defensive action there is outstanding.
Well, it was Laird and Lever early that kept him in the game. Dangerfield yet another possession. Slips it out wide. Gaff gets there first. With him is Riley Knight. Did well. Gaff, Knight, boundary. Well done, young man. Forced the error. Goes out of bounds on their true centre wing.
5-4 out of the centre square. That's West Coast way, but it was 4-1, so Adelaide fought back really strongly.
So after an impressive start, a real burst out of the blocks for the Eagles, Adelaide. Total domination. Nat Nui brings it to ground. Looking for Marston again. Dangerfield, they can't corral him at all. Just looks so sharp. Back towards Walker.
He's on.
The skipper takes a mark and wheels onto the left. Back onto his right. Not his best. And it's marked at centre half back, this time by Xavier Ellis.
He had to go long to Jenkins in the goal square. This time he's on Rosa. There is a dead set mismatch there. Ellis to the outer side. Crows by 13. Terrific mark by LaCroix, left-hand half-back flank. So what do we play? 30 minutes on the Payne away clock. Perfect weather here. Tribute game for Phil Walsh, and the Crows have started brilliantly. 13 points up. Time on, as we said, in the first quarter. So on the outer side, she now will come back again to Schofield. Schofield now wants to milk the clock. He comes to this near side. Rosa, first game back for a while. Handballs over the top to Ellis. Still on the left-hand half-back flank. Up onto the wing. Paddy Dangerfield. He came out with pace. He almost got the mark. Handballed off to Laird. Back to Danger. Get his stats. He's unreal. Gave it off now to Brown. Brown handballs back to Crouch. He is everywhere. Crouch to Henderson on the wing. Great poise. Goes short. Laird smart. Crows by 13.
Yeah, Dangerfield up to 13 now at a fantastic first quarter. 13 points the margin. Betts kicked that nonchalant goal moments ago. All the forwards have figured. Jenkins, Walker, Cameron, Betts, and Dangerfield's been a beacon in the centre. So Betts now just kicks in the Walker direction. 2 to contend with. Texie got it down to Lynch. Lynch can have a look at the goal. Can he kick a goal? Oh, he's got a man all on his own in the pocket. And the mark's been taken by Matty Wright.
Oh, that is so unselfish.
How is the disposal going forward, Bix? The efficiency is unbelievable from the Crows.
And one of the things that we talked about is if McGovern was able just to get a run and jump at some footies and mark it a lot, that Adelaide were going to be in trouble. But Walker then competed against McGovern and also one other, brought the ball to ground, and Tommy Lynch was on the ground and was able to run there. And like I said, could have easily had a shot from 35, but passed to Matty Wright, who's only 15 metres out, but on a pretty tight angle.
For 7 of the last 8 goals at 9 seconds on the clock, Wright has missed. And that will probably be the last kick, in fact, of the quarter, apart from the kick out. So it's 6-2 to 4 goals. But Adelaide, what a remarkable turnaround. Scotty Camperelli, his first time as senior coach, enjoys a 14-point lead after trailing by 18 in the first 7 minutes of the game. So the Eagles will have the last kick. Siren will sound. 10 goals scored in the quarter. 6 went to the Crows. 2 to Walker, 2 to Cameron. Betts and Jenkins involved as well. And for the West Coast Eagles, LaCroix Yo, Pritis and Darling are their goal scorers.
Yeah, look, it was a really impressive quarter of footy. As you mentioned, the West Coast Eagles just jumped out of the blocks. They were so sharp. And then Adelaide, I reckon they got a lucky one. The first one was a lucky one from Charlie Cameron, and just from that point on, they just looked like a different team. They settled down. They didn't look as nervous with the ball in hand, looked much more composed. And as the quarter went on, they backed themselves in. They played through the middle of the ground, and they're able to move the ball quickly and get the ball out in behind the West Coast Eagles defence. And no team's been able to do that at all so far this year. So they'll be pretty happy with how that's unfolded. Got away to a really good start.
They are so switched on. Well done, the Crows. They've come out and really playing for Phil Walsh and also Scotty Camberley and their fans, because they lead by 14 points at quarter time. 6-2-38 to the West Coast Eagles, 4 straight 24.
This quarter, thanks to RAA. $13.95, Adelaide's Fiveaa.
How you doing, fellas? I'm actually standing out front of Home Square at the moment.
Oh, mate, hang on. Let me wave to you. Wait there. Look at here.
Talking Adelaide.
The tour down under for the coffee industry is what Olympic Dam is for mining. This is basically a roll call of the stupidest parents in South Australia, isn't it?
Covering the news and issues that matter.
Why would you eat anything from China?
$13.95.
Parochial, navel-gazing Adelaide twaddle.
Adelaide's Fiveaa.
Hello. Frank Walker from National Tiles. Our 3 all-new National Tiles Adelaide showrooms and warehouses have only been open since the 1st of June, and already the response has been absolutely amazing. Builders, tilers, architects, interior designers, and people building or renovating their own homes have been overwhelmed by the range, quality and prices of all our national wall and floor tiles. National Tiles is not the biggest tile company in Australia. However, our customers vote us to be the best tile company in Australia, time and time again. So if you're in the trade or building or renovating your own home, come into one of National Tiles' 3 all-new Adelaide showrooms for the very best wall and floor tiles at the guaranteed lowest prices in Australia. Or go to nationaltiles.com.au now. National Tiles, offering Adelaide people a whole new professional wall and floor tile experience.
Hi, my mum reckons the pears at Adelaide Fresh and Tony and Mark's remind her of me as a baby. That's just weird, Mum. Then she told me pears are great to wean babies because they are low in acid and not harsh on their digestive system. Maybe that's why I like pears so much now. So thanks for the yummy delicious pears, Mum.
Adelaide Fresh and flavour filled delicious, Mum.
And thanks Adelaide Fresh, Prospect at Morford Vale, and Tony and Mark's at Newton and Glenunga.
Wow, it's the Sewing, Stitching and Handcraft Show with hundreds of new products from local and interstate suppliers, plus 6 workshop areas. It's all at the Adelaide Showground, July 17 to 19. Details kjex.com.au.
When the sub comes on the ground, you know they're going to make an impact. Just like when you get a sub from Subway. Quality and a big burst of delicious. Go the Subway sub. Subway, eat fresh.
Taking time to listen can make all the difference. Farrell & O'Neill Funerals is a South Australian family company committed to guiding and supporting families at an emotional time. We value a lifetime by offering a compassionate, caring and unique service with attention to the smallest detail. Finding guidance through a difficult time can be comforting. Farrell & O'Neill Funerals, 8296 3134.
RAA. They do a lot more than you think. So get an insurance quote today.
Pritis can kick a goal and does. This side here are scary. They work into the Cameron direction and he's got one little fella. Look at the goal. Nonchalantly around the body. He's got 2.
He goes long into the forward line. Eddie Baird! He's marked the miraculous run. Kicks around his body. I love him. Vince has marked them 10 deep. Off the one step. Kick the goal. I love him. Fly out the back. Joe! Turns! Takes the mark on the goal square. Boy, oh boy. I love him.
Man up on him. Welcome back to quarter time here. 6-2, 38 to 4 straight 24. A lot of highlights in that quarter. And it's an amazing turnaround, Bix. West Coast Eagles banged on the first 3 goals. Adelaide kicked 6 of the last 7.
Yeah, look, there was a couple of changes that took part in the game. One, Adelaide started to get on top of the clearances. The clearances were 7-1 in West Coast favour. They ended the quarter 13-12. So you extrapolate that out. That's about 12-5 in the back half of the quarter in Adelaide's fashion. We talked about 5 of their 6 goals coming from Adelaide getting in behind them. I think what the Adelaide coaching staff might have said to the West Coast people, they've said, you know what, if you're going to press up really high up the ground, we're going to have someone fairly deep, and if we get through, it's a goal every time. And it'll be interesting to see how much they've forced West Coast defenders to adjust by just playing a little bit deeper. If they're forced them to do that, it means there's more space to be able to use the ball through the middle.
5 AFL for Agostino Mitsubishi, margin 14 here. 6 goals to 38, the 4 goals straight 24. Very accurate, as we said, margin 14. Crows kicked the last 5 goals with some scintillating football after the West Coast kicked the first 3. Here we go, start of the second quarter. Perfect weather for Agostino Mitsubishi. Nat Nui with 15 knocks, 7 to Jacobs, 3 to advantage. Jacobs wins this one out the back. Eddie Betts comes off his line, can't get it out. Coming through is Douglas with courage, takes it. Gee, he's really alert. So too Paddy, Taylor Walker and Eddie Betts. They've all started brilliantly. And we've got a game on our hands, Wilds.
Yeah, Josh Kennedy's been quiet too. Charlie has worn him like a glove as well, Bick. So some of the big stars not getting in the ball. Hearn just kicked straight in the head there of Scotty Thompson. That would have hurt. Laird got caught. Not holding the ball. Selwood to Yo. Under pressure gets to Marston. He's had 13 possessions. On to Prittis. Prittis a long handball to Lacroix. Back to Prittis. He's 50 out from goal. Kicks it back towards Kennedy. Well, just spoke about Kennedy. He's hardly seen it, Bix, and he's marked 40 out from goal.
I tracked that match up for about 15 seconds. It was amazing. Josh Kennedy changed directions about 3 or 4 times, and in one stage, Daniel Charlie ran up the back of him, and he just stumbled, and that just allowed Kennedy that 3 or 4 metres, and then the delivery by Prittis just absolutely knocked him over. It hit him on the chest.
48 goals for the year. Leading the Coleman race. Been a good player, Josh Kennedy. Often troubles the Crows. Got rid of a few of the stutters too. Kick on his way. Hit the post. He thought he kicked it. He was starting to clap. And it swung away and hit the top of the goalpost. So the Sportsbet scoreboard, the margin now cut to 13, Adelaide lead.
That was unlucky because it grazed the inside of the post. It didn't thump into it. It just took a slight deflection. Yeah, so that's as close as you'll get.
All the luck with the Crows. Brody Smith moved to the back line, kicks out, looks for Walker. Going back is Yo. Hadn't it been a great pickup for West Coast Eagles? Lightning quick, long with that left leg, right inside 50. Hills out the back, big fist from behind. Crummy needed, Lacroix's got it, gave it back to Gaff, to Shuey, gave it to Selwood, back to Gaff, too far out to score. Maybe he can, he get on his left leg. Oh, he's kicked it. I thought he was far too far out to score, and Gaff's got a goal. Gee, they've started well, West Coast. Margin cut to 7 on the Sportsmed scoreboard.
Yeah, just a couple of times Adelaide have been able to, or had ball in hand, and they've just tried to do a bit much with it. They've been under real pressure, tried a couple of handballs. I think they just need to get the ball out of that real tight congestion area. When the ball's been out in space, they've actually looked okay when they've gone forward. Just twice in the middle, and then once again when the ball came to the ground. They had first look at it, but then got dispossessed, and then the Eagles were able to get their hands on it, and they made them pay that time through Gaff.
Kangaroos by 20 points. Another game over Geelong here. It's back to 7. Nice goal there to Gaff's had a super year, averaging around the 29 possessions per game. He's the road runner. Van Berlo got the job on him. Umpire starts proceedings again. Nat Nui jumps high above the pack. Shuey runs onto it. It's 100th game Yo. Thought he caught one high, then gets absolutely smashed to the ground. As you said, Dangerfield. Battery's fully charged today for Danger.
He actually went after the footy. He didn't win it. He tackled one player who then handballed to another, and he just tackled the next one. I think he might be injured.
Has he hurt himself? Looks like he's holding the
shoulder.
What's happened here? He's holding the face in there.
His teeth.
I reckon he might have lost a tooth. We saw last night Tyrone Vickery lose a tooth. He's gone straight. Straight for the mouth? I reckon he might have lost a couple of the front pegs there. So not happy. Smashed in the nose. He's going back towards the cheeks, touching his teeth.
Well, he's coming off with the blood rule, and
he's put his tooth straight through his lip, and I reckon he's lost his left tooth. Straight out his scone. He's actually got a smile on his face. No one can win a football like this bloke.
He went hard at it, didn't he? Let's hope he's okay and gets back on quickly, because he's been amazing. First quarter, 13 possessions, a quarter time, leading all comers.
Well, of course, it was this ground on Friday night footy where Dustin Fletcher lost both his front teeth in a marking contest, just put the mouth guard in and went straight back on and played.
And I think Elliot Yeo also had his teeth knocked out last year, so it's not a good ground for teeth. Laird now under pressure. Hooks it out wide. Crows need to take a mark, and they do. Gee, late. Was that a 50-metre penalty? No, it's not.
He's going to get that bottom lip stitched up. He's got a huge, big gash in that bottom lip. So on the outer side, Knight now goes long to the half-forward flank. Get him stitched up as quick as you can. Big fist from Shepherd out of bounds between wing and half-forward on the outer side. 5-1-31 West Coast. Trail the Crows 6-2-38.
Let's just look at Danger's numbers. He's had 13 disposals, 8 contested possessions and 5 clearances in just over a quarter of footy.
Crows by 7. Good work by Jacobs. Gets the ball forward. Coming onto it is Tomo. Gee, that was outstanding to Crouch. I've got around 3 of them. Gave the old look away handle to Thompson. I'm telling you, he's the next British job, Crouchy. Oh, Walker dropped one. Ball on the ground tonight. Gave on the up. Van Berlo fumbled. Good enough to get back onto it. Missed the handle. Oh, it had to hit. Prentice comes through. Douglas wraps him up. Great tackle. Should be a ball up in the middle of that half-forward flank. And umpire says, yes, there is. Right-hand half-forward flank. He'll throw it up. So what do we play? 5 minutes, second quarter, paint away clock.
Yeah, Dangerfield down in the rooms, looking the front tooth, and he's a bit concerned about that. The mouthguard come out, so I hope he's okay, just getting a few stitches there. Umpires aren't paying hold of the ball tonight. Shuey, they gave him time to get rid of it again. Scotty Thompson in there.
Well, that's in the back.
All of a sudden, players coming in from all directions. Eagles out, extracted out, did well, Sinclair. Now they're running hard through the centre. Rosa up towards centre half forward. Delivers perfect to Yeo. Yeo 60 out from goal. Hill runs hard. Rosa's run on as well. Oh, they got a man all on his own there. Lacroix will run in an open goal and kick his second. Kick the first of the night. He's got his second. There's so many options there, Bix. It was Hill, Lacroix, Kennedy, Nui. And creating a wave through the pack was Lacroix to get his second goal, the margin of point Adelaide lead.
Just another example, though. Adelaide had a chain of 3 handballs, and they were all just to the left of someone onto the deck, and they just couldn't get them on the body so they could then kick it forward. In the end, Matt Crouch, a little bit unlucky. It looked like the West Coast player got onto his back, but the ball flipped to the outside, and there's one thing where Adelaide looked vulnerable. When the ball gets to the outside, the way that West Coast attack, it just they look like they are really going to struggle to hold that up. And they came through the middle, and there were West Coast players everywhere. It was Lacroix that ended up with the footy, took the mark, played on, ran into an open goal.
Yeah, Gaff, Maston, Yeo, Rosa, guys can get on the end of it like Cripps. Margin 1 point. Crows way, won by Sinclair. Eddie Betts gave it now to Douglas, long with that right leg to the half-forward flank. Walker needs to sit under it. Big fist from behind Schofield. Well crumbed by Lynch. Kicked around his body was brilliant. Tries to find Jenkins, but Ellis got a fist on it. It's out of bounds. 40 metres around from that right-hand post. 6 goals, 2-38. Crows haven't scored this quarter to 6-1-37, a margin of 1. The Sportsmed scoreboard. Umpire now. 7 minutes gone. Second quarter. Throws the ball in. Sinclair, Jacobs wins it. Looks a lot better when Nat Nui's off. Van Berlo's tackle was great. Unfortunately, there, Shepherd's got it and hacks it outside 50, and a mark's been taken by Darling.
Good play, Darling. Sweeps it out wide to Lacroix. He's just dangerous. Brown's got the job on him. Running hard is Cripps. Kicks towards Cripps. Henderson was left in his wake. Cripps a kicking half out from goal. Eagles swarming forward. They go into the pocket of Kennedy. And Kennedy can't take the mark. He wanted the free kick. Nothing doing. Out of bounds it goes. Was it there, Bix?
Absolutely. It looked like Rory Laird. He did everything bar rip his arms off. He definitely chopped the arms and also caught him high. Very unlucky.
Lacroix, Cameron and Tex Walker all with 2 goals so far tonight. Game has really tightened up. Sinclair brings the ball to ground. Was it Jake Lever got rock and roll? Goes to ground. They jump on top of him. No, it wasn't Jakey Lever. Matty Wright gets up rather gingerly.
How well do they tackle now?
Oh, it's fantastic, isn't it? Jacobs slaps it to ground. Selwood did pretty well in the end. Took it a couple. Van Berlo had it. Dropped it like a hot potato. Betts in there fighting for it. Darling. Also Selwood. Crouch to Betts. To Brown. Brown towards the boundary. They want to deliver it. They're going to get it, I think. Free kick Eagles. Tough shot, though. A real tough shot.
There's a left footer as well.
Gaff's got it.
Wrong side.
He's a brilliant player, though. I think you'd have to try that. You couldn't kick the check side from there, so he may go for the pass, but Adelaide have put players in the holes pretty well here. So he's going to maybe head towards the top of the square. It's exactly what he does. Nat Nui can jump at it. Nat Nui! Almost. Kick towards goals. Another one, is it? No. Offline, Lacroix, danger man. Kicks it behind. Scores locked away on the Sportsmed scoreboard.
Yeah, 6-2 apiece. Fiveaa AFL for Agostino Mitsubishi. Paddy Dangerfield's getting that bottom lip stitched up. Let's hope his tooth's okay. We've played 9 minutes. Taking a fair time. B. Smith kicks to himself. Now goes short with that leg. It's got a hit. It was a terrible kick. Out the back was Douglas. Shrugs the shoulders. Now on his right leg. Squirts the ball forward. Matty Wright's got it. Can he handle out? No, he can't. The pressure by the Eagles has been outstanding this quarter. Gaff got it to Brown. Fumbled by Hardigan. Still in the pocket, Hardigan. Great pressure, Darling. Good work there again by Crouch. Gave it off to Danger. Now Paddy and Douglas golfed the ball out to the half-forward flank. Matty Wright wraps up Sheed. No free kick. Somehow Sheed got up with the ball, gave it back to Gaff, kicked around his body. I reckon Lacroix marked it. No, he hasn't.
Touch it was.
Umpire's letting this go on the left-hand half-back flank. There'll be a ball up. That was sloppy. 6-2 apiece.
It's a hot game, that's what it is. And every time a player gets the ball, he's just got no time. He's been set upon by the opposition.
Well, first quarter, Bixer was open sort of footy. Now they've really tightened up, and the forward pressure on the Eagles has been outstanding. They're not playing holding the ball.
They've cranked it up, the Eagles. Cranked it up.
Just watch Darling. His pressure is fantastic for a big guy on the forward line. He applied 2 or 3 tackles. Up go the big men again. Crouch, the ball magnet. Works it back towards the wing. Crows under pressure now. Selwood around the body. Hill's got away. And Josh Hill, the former Bulldog, loves to kick a goal. Been reasonably quiet today so far. Can go back from 48 directly in front and put the Eagles in front.
You may have heard Rowie and I groan. The reason was Tom Lynch won a ball. It was a 1v3. He flipped the handball out to Eddie Betts. He just tried to take it one hand and it slips through his fingers.
Averaging 2 goals a game. Hill leans back as he got the carry just, but offline. Eagles lead by that point. 6-3 to 6-2, but they have kicked the last couple of goals.
They've really locked it in here, the Eagles. Adelaide, last couple of kick-ins, haven't had too many answers in terms of how they're going to get it out of their own defensive 50.
So 11 minutes gone this quarter. Crows haven't scored.
Dangerfield back there, Rowie.
1 point the margin. Paddy's got that bottom lip stitched up. Henderson long to the outer side. Fist from Sinclair. Ball on the ground. Laird's been outstanding. Couldn't get it to Thompson. Lacroix somehow has. Gave it to Yo. Yo will kick around his body. He loves it. It's a goal. They've kicked 3 this quarter and they lead by 7 on the Sportsmed scoreboard. Exactly. Big's like the start of the first.
Yeah, look, Adelaide, once again, they've just gone back to being a bit jumpy. That was a handball that went to Scott Thompson. The handball had a bit on it, but it just went straight through Tomo's hands.
I think they've cranked the pressure up, though, Bix. Big time, the Eagles.
Cranked it up.
Bit of perceived pressure. Rory Laird won the ball, flipped it out to Tomo, went through his fingers, bounced straight to Lacroix. Lacroix set Yo on his way, and Yo looked fantastic finish. About 40 metres out, laid it across his boot, sort of banana style, except on the inside of the boot. Just bench it around beautifully.
Well, no coincidence. Adelaide have fallen a bit of a hole when Dangerfield went off the ground. They've kicked the first 3 goals of the second quarter, and Dangerfield was off the ground all but the first 2 minutes. Back in the centre now, Sinclair. Got it to Cripps. The hurry kick forward in no man's land. Brodie Smith gets a reasonable bounce. Made it pretty good too. Did well to Thompson, but Huey came in. It's his 100th game. Buttering up well was Smith again to Van Berlo, back to Smith. He's doubled his possessions in the one play. Kicks up towards half forward. Ball bounced in no man's land. And nice attack on the footy at half forward flank, but it was caught with Charlie Cameron. Shepherd was right with him.
So left-hand half-forward flank boundary throw in. West Coast 7-3-45 to 6-2-38. We'll get those test scores very shortly. Australia need what? 420.
412.
412. 7 points the margin. Jenkins in ruck. Ball to the ground. Sinclair's got it to Gaff to Sinclair. Back to Gaff. Still on the half-forward flank. Great pressure by Charlie Cameron and a boundary throw on that left-hand half-forward flank.
Just some numbers for the second quarter only. The clearance is 7-3 to the Eagles. The inside 50's 8-3. So dominating all areas of the game just at the moment, the Eagles.
Boundary thrown again, just inside 50. Sinclair wins it. Jenkins is there, overcooked it. Shuey Yo kicked around his body, up onto this swing. Chief falling over was Hardigan. Darling kept his feet. He was going to handball by Laird in the 50. Well, he was going to handball off. I think Laird did the right thing, but Darling's going to be taken about 30 metres out, all but directly in front. This is a certain goal, Biggs.
Yeah. I feel sorry for Laird because he had he had to go because Hardigan had slipped over and Darling was going to mark it unopposed, and he just went too far with it. Once he took the mark, he brought him to ground. He's going to shoot now. He's probably 35 metres out on a very slight angle.
Well, Darling, 57-point turnaround in 14 minutes of footy, Bix.
It's been similar to the start of the first, and everything that we talked about with Adelaide in the first quarter, where they were jumpy at the start, they looked hesitant, they fumbled the ball. It just all came about again here. The clearances are all one way. And look, Adelaide just need to try and, in the first quarter, they possessed the ball, they got their hands on it, they shared it around a little bit, they were able to work their way forward methodically, and they were able to score a goal, and that got them moving. I think they need to do that again. Just not quite try and flip it around as quickly as they have been.
It's an amazing game. West Coast kicked the first three of the first. They got the first four of the second quarter. And in between, Adelaide kicked 6 or 7. It's a strange game. But the Eagles have a nice lead now by 13 points, and they go forward again. Shuey has a bounce. Dangerfield trying to get him. Did. Got it now to Cripso. Cripps looks at the goal and misses. Exciting play, Eagles. They've lifted a cup, no doubt about that. The margin out to 14 points.
I think what's going to happen, Jenkins, I don't think should be rucking in the centre square against Nat Nui. He's got to go in there when Sinclair goes in there, because Nat Nui is going to kill him like he did that
West Coast by 14. Henderson to the outer side. Nat Nui flew. Ball on the ground. Laird's been outstanding. Can't quite get it. I reckon he's got one across his land chops. And he's going to get the free kick in that right-hand half-forward flank. 8-4-52. Kicked 4 goals this quarter to 6-2-38. Have not scored. Get those inside 50s this quarter shortly as well. Yep. Yeah, so Brown on the outer side half-back flank.
10-3, Rowie.
10-3. Brown now, long to the outer side wing. Thompson's taken a mark. No, he dropped it. Selwood got it. Gave it back to Sheed. Gave it to Prittis, to Nat Nui, to Sheed on the outer side wing. Handball to Maston. They're all over the Crows at the moment. Back to the outer side to Sheed. Eddie Betts tackles in. Missed the tackle. Smothered off the boot. Bounces over the top. Lux of fortune. Rosa's got it. Tackled by Lever. Handballs along the line out of bounds. 40 metres around from that left-hand post. They are really all over the Crows at the moment. 8-4-6-2 on the Sportsbet scoreboard.
Jakey Lever's been split open. There was a clash of heads. Lever coming off with a blood roll, the whole side of his face.
That's a big bruise. What's he saying to the umpire? Let me get off here. That's amazing. You know, he's copped a really nasty one. It's opening up as we speak.
Just interesting, though, from Adelaide. That just sums up this second quarter. It was a really good kick by Luke Brown. Finds Scott Thompson. Just looking at the replay there.
Head clash.
Head on head. He's copped it right.
How often do we see that these days, Bix? Heads hitting.
Yeah. But Thompson, unopposed, no one around him, just drops a simple mark in the hands, and then that lets the West Coast Eagles back in, and they go back in and attack. Adelaide could have been going forward. It's just those simple little errors that have been sleight of hand that just haven't allowed them to be able to play.
He may well have fractured a cheekbone. That doesn't look good for Jakey Lever. Started so well too. The Crows been the most dominant man on the ground. Snap on goal again from 25. Not good. Out of bounds on the full. But there's no doubt they've lifted their pressure in the second term. I reckon they thought it was going to be just a walk in the park after kicking the first 3, and would have got a rocket from Simpson at quarter time. Adelaide can't get it forward to centre.
Lever's eyes already closed up. He may have a fractured cheekbone.
I reckon he has, Rowie. Straight away, the young man just wanted to walk off, and he was in a lot of trouble. So the Crows now back in the Walker direction. Up he went. Wellingham from the side almost plucked out a nice mark. Walker again, hadn't lost it. Dangerfield gave it to Prittis. Prittis, what a player he's been, the reigning Brownlow medalist. Kicks up towards the pocket. Talia diving attempt. Couldn't take it. Kennedy tried to get the ball back into play. Out of bounds it goes.
Got a bit snatchy at the moment.
Yeah.
Crows are a bit snatchy.
And it's experienced players as well. Taylor Walker there just fumbled one, and Scott Thompson we mentioned before, Patrick Dainsworth. So they just need to just be a bit calmer.
8 minute gone, paint away clock in the pocket. Great work. Paddy gave it to Jenkins. Lacroix gave it off. Now it is Shuey. Gives it to Hill. Half forward flank. Handballs to Nat Nui. He got absolutely rock and roll. Crouch has been outstanding. How's that pickup? Then he gets tackled. Stood tall in the tackle. Got monstered. And there should be a ball up right hand, half forward flank. 4 goals they've got this quarter. The Eagles to the Crows, no score. So it's 8-4-6-2, margin 14 on the Sportsmed scoreboard, and we've played 19 minutes second quarter.
Yeah, I think Lacroix and Krauts, two of the leading ball gatherers with Marston on the field, and Dangerfield also. But almost a free kick the Eagles will be. Just a bit clumsy there, Thompson. Free kick, West Coast Eagles. Going to go to Dom Sheed.
11-3, the clearances this quarter, just getting smashed around the ball.
Matt Crouch, the right row, good call. He's going to be the next criticised. That's uncontested. Talia absolutely livid with his defence, saying who was meant to be blocking the hole. He bit of finger pointing there. Jacobs having a go back. And Kennedy, who hit the post with his last shot, normally Dead-Eye Dick, going for goal number 49 this year. But more importantly, he kicks it at 5 on the Tropics.
Yeah, look, just a misunderstanding there. Someone normally fills the leading lanes, obviously didn't do it. Talia couldn't do much to stop that.
Talia takes every kick against him personally, which is a good trait in the defender. And Kennedy salutes. 5 goals in a row for the West Coast Eagles. Adelaide have not scored in the second term. And the pain-away clock tells us we've just hit time on. 9:4:58 to 6:2:38, the margin 20.
Adelaide need to just stop the bleeding now. I think they need to go in. They can't afford to go in at half-time any further
worse
behind than the 20 points that it is. So, yes, you can just see Tom Lynch coming down there now. So they want to preserve as much as they can and hold on as much as they can to where they are at right now. They don't want to allow this momentum to continue and let the Eagles kick another 1 or 2 more goals before half-time.
Rogers not out 10, Warner not out 6 to the second dig. No wicket for 17. They still trail by 394. We'll keep those scores coming in. 20 points the margin here. Well done, Jacobs. Got it down to Thompson. Kicks the ball long to the half-forward flank. It's a foot race in 2. Maston got it. Handball back. They're absolutely everywhere. Shepherd goes short. Cripps is marked. Centre wing grandstand side. They've got all the answers. Lead by 20 on the Sportsmed scoreboard. He empties back now to Schofield. He'll do the big switcher roller of play. Draws the man. Goes to Selwood. He's on the left-hand half-back flank. Goes up onto the wing. Gee, that's a terrific kick to Rosa. Chips the ball over the top to McGovern. How the hell does he get free? On the lead is Yowie. Goes short now. Gives it off to Hearn. Bunga Hearn goes bang with the leg. Kennedy marks. And that is premiership football. That is untouchable. They move the zone one way, the other. Precision kick. Kennedy's got it. Shot at goal, 40 out. Margin 20 out.
Just watching that one-on-one again with Daniel Talia and Josh Kennedy. Luke Shuey ran 30 metres to block Daniel Talia, and that's why Kennedy runs out and takes a mark 15 metres in front of Talia, because he just got blocked by fantastic work from his teammate.
So Kennedy now with 1 goal going towards the Subi end. He loves it off the boot. Oh, he did. It's gone through for a point. Margin 21. Sportsmed scoreboard. 21 minutes gone on the pain-away clock.
The biggest improvement, Bix, for the Eagles is their execution under pressure. They're a very good side now, particularly here at Subiaco. They make it so hard. They're snuffing the life out of Adelaide. The margin 21 points. Adelaide did kick 6 out of 7 goals after a slow start. Eagles would kick the first 5 of the second quarter. Into time on 22 gone, 9-5 to 6-2.
Just me, if I was kicking out from a point, I'd go the opposite end of where Nat Nui is. just between you and I, Bix.
Keep it away from him.
Oh, wouldn't you?
A couple of good players. So Crouch has been good. Danesfield led. But they need a few more to really impose themselves. Charlie Cameron's just been starved of opportunities in the second quarter. He's brilliant in the first quarter. Eddie Betts has been quiet.
How many inside 50s for the quarter, the Crows?
Adelaide have had 3 to 14.
Wow.
Prentice to Gaff on his wrong leg, which is his right. Kicks up. Oh, that's a nice mark. Talia. That's a Tony and Mark's Adelaide fresh mark of the night.
They need a couple of goals before half-time. They trail by 21 on the Sportsmed scoreboard. That's a brave kick. Looks out there for Jacobs. Nat Nui. Maston. Long kick by Selwood. Oh, that is brilliant. The ball hung up. Jacobs waited. Nat Nui flew. Let me tell you, he handballed the ball before he landed on the ground. Goal, bang, boom, margin 27. Ouch.
Yeah. We hear coaches talk about being brave and wanting to play through the corridor, but if you get it wrong, it just bites you. And at time on, when you're really battling, well, look, I know sometimes you can do it and you can go the length of the ground and you score and it helps you out, but just that one there, it's just such a costly error. In the end, it was Sam Jacobs who he was aiming for, but Nat Nui marked it. But when Nat Nui, you said, handballed it and hit the ground, there was 3 other Eagles players there. It was a 1v4. Just not a clever kick by Daniel Talia.
Yeah, it's a Tony and Mark's Adelaide fresh again to Nat Nui. Jumped so high, and you're right, he got rid of the ball before his feet landed. Selwood's been good to Marston, to Hearn. As I said, this is a pretty good outfit, the Eagles. That's why they're 9-3. Nice mark being taken there by Henderson. So Henderson and half-back.
Need a goal. Come
Adelaide have not scored in the second quarter after booting 6 in the first. Henderson along the wing to Dangerfield. Might be missing a tooth. And Jakey Lever, well, he got absolutely smashed. Let's hope his cheek's all right. Kick up towards half-back. Ellis went in hard. Thompson now fell over. They fall over on top of him. 60 up from goal. They haven't paid They haven't paid They have now. First holding the ball for the night.
That's a disgrace.
As Ellis goes out wide, running hard again. The Roadrunner is Gaff. On his left shoe, kicks towards Lacroix. Had an outstanding night. Takes a great mark. What's his stats? Bixie's up around 15.
Yes. No, even more. 16.
Mark Lacroix to Gaff. He's turning him up too. Just goes up towards Pritis. He's just a prolific ball winner. He's a brilliant player, Pritis. A lot of people don't think he gets accolades, but he's a Brownlow medalist, the best and fairest, and he averages about 30 per week. Matt Pritis with a curly hair, 52 up from goal. He won't get the carry. Pops it up towards the goal square again. Dangerfield went up. Players go down, and Adelaide conceded behind. They're under enormous pressure. They really are. 66-38, and still no sign of Jakey Lever. Or is he out there again? I think he might be back on with the saw. Yeah. Turnover again. Wellingham for another one. Boy, it's raining goals. And the Eagles army are up and about. I cannot believe the turnaround, Mark Bickley. That is, what is that, 7 goals to zip, 7 goals to nothing in the second quarter, 72-38. They've almost doubled Adelaide's score.
Yeah, look, and each time comes from an Adelaide error. That one there, Richard Douglas, I'm not sure how he ended up with the footy in the goal square doing the kick out, but he just saw something. He played on quickly and tried to kick it to David McKay. He was in amongst 4 Eagles players. Unfortunately, the kick was just behind him. He stumbled on going for the mark, and as soon as he hit the ground, the Eagles players could have raffled it. There was 3 of them, and Wellingham was the one that ended up with it. He took a half a dozen steps, steadied at all the time in the world, and kicked truly. So Adelaide would be really disappointed with this last 10 minutes.
49-point turnaround. 49 points. Amble, chain of them. To Bugger Hearn, another inside 50. Ball jars out the back. Hill's going to run into an open goal. Sits for him. Make that 55 points. Almost 10 goals. Oh, boy. 12-6 to 6-2, 38. That is a really big, huge turnaround, Biggs. That is unreal.
Well, it's just an amazing one, and just the clearances this quarter, they've just been dominated in every sense of the word around the ground, in the centre square in particular, but just looking at the clearances, 13-4. So they are just smashing them, and when you do that through the middle of the ground, and you're running out of the centre square and you're banging in long and you've got that forward line like we know they have. That time there was Hill. The ball got over the back, so the Adelaide defenders weren't able to keep it at the front, and then no one was there, and it was just Hill just jogged into an open goal.
This is the best quarter I think I've seen all year. Port Adelaide had a great one against Hawthorn. This is just as good. And Australia 1 for 19. Rogers out. So England certainly in the box seat in the first cricket test. Douglas looking for Laird. Gee, can they get a score, Adelaide? McKay, he's been an invisible man. Harvey called him. Kicks up towards Betts. Betts couldn't get there in time. Hearn put the big body on the line. Knight got it out, but only as far as Rosa. Gee, they're steady back there. They'll take their time again, get their breath back. McGovern's got it. Big that's 8 unanswered goals.
Yeah.
There's still 5 minutes to go on the quarter.
Well, it was interesting because they put Tomlins behind the ball, and we talked about how they just maybe preserved the 20-point margin or deficit that they had. And since then, it's just, he went back there for a couple of minutes and then he went back forward, and unfortunately they've kicked 3 goals since then.
Rosa's got it long to the outer side wing. Yeah, 5 minutes of game time left, playing away clock. Mark's been taken by the Crows. Long handle by Henderson to Crouch. Crouching in the pocket of Van Burley. He's got to hit a target. Oh, there's another turnover. Ball now ends up on the ground. Walker tries to get in after it there with Knight. Umpire comes in. Ball up. Right-hand half-forward flank. Margin 40 on the Sportsmed scoreboard. 12 goals, 6, 8 goals to nothing this quarter to 6 goals 2. Crows need a couple before half-time, stating the obvious. Margin 40. Jacobs hits it out the back to Douglas. Tried his little heart out. Does a pirouette. Kicks the ball back. Inside 50. Jenkins will fly. VB with the flight of the ball. It's gone out of bounds. 10 metres around for that right-hand post.
Well, Bix, I think you've got to reassess the West Coast Eagles too. As I said, if they get home finals, they'll be tough, just like Fiveaa here. It's become the fortress again for the Eagles. They lost so many games in recent years here, but almost unbeatable at home. Crows now. Snap on goal from Douglas.
Get in.
And that is their first score as Rowie had his back turned to the play. It's a point, Rowie, on the Sportsmed scoreboard.
Douglas has been good the last couple of minutes. He's just tried to get himself into the game. He's had 7 possessions this quarter, but you can just see when that Nui goes off, Jacobs is able to get on top of Sinclair, and that clearance count evens up. But just when Nat Nui's in there, he's just a colossus.
Shepherd now with the mark, gave to McGovern. Here goes the turnover. Paddy's got it, gave it to Laird. Could have gone short to Douglas. Now goes longer inside 50. Big man will fly. Crumbing needed. Free kick. I reckon it's going to go to Rosa. Charlie Cameron maybe just caught his arm. So free kick in the true centre half back position on the Sportsmed scoreboard. Margin 39 points West Coast way.
Gee, they spread so hard and they got Hearn on his own again. They're all prepared to run. Look at him go. Here come the cavalry. McGovern slips it out wide. There's always someone there. A kick for goal from 55 out from Sheed was a shocker. Yo was looking for Hill. Poor kick there. I think the feet were running so hard as the change is being made. But everywhere you look, Bix, they've got them to the left, they've got them to the right, and they run down the middle as well. So not a great combination for the opposition. 8 goals to a point this quarter. The kicking from the Eagles has been outstanding. McKay just slips it out wide to Riley Knight from half-back.
Lovely
young man,
leg.
nice leg to Jenkins. Now, can they build something here? Josh Jenkins had a good first quarter.
He's got to hold it up here, but there's nothing in front of him.
Goes to right. Matty Wright now. Has kicked more and open than anything. In fact, he's found Rose. Oh, Betts crashed into Rosa.
Well, I'm not sure about that because I think he knocked the ball out of his hands.
He might be almost knocked himself out. 2 guts from Rose and also Betts. They both hit pretty hard. And they come in to remonstrate with Eddie Betts, but good courage. Anyone going against the tide, it's courage.
Well, why is that a free kick?
Exactly. I do not know why it's a free kick because he went for the mark. He was running with the flight, and Eddie Betts bumped the ball and knocked the player over, and all of a sudden it's a free
Hurd
kick.
in the pocket, chips it over the top, looks for Darling. Margin 39 points on the Sportsmed scoreboard, West Coast way. About 2.5 minutes left on the paint-away clock this quarter. Sheed's got it now between wing and half-forward on the western side. Looks short. Hill wants it. They've been outstanding, West Coast, this quarter. Crows can still get into it. Need to lift. Hearn now, long with that leg to the outer side. Looks for Rosa. Ball bounces. Eddie Betts was on him. Gave it to Ellis. Back now to Rosa. They do as they like. I'd love to get the possession count. They've had about 100 possessions to 50. Schofield now gave it back. Ellis goes forward. Gave it to Rosa. He now chips it off with a little handball. Long to the outer side. Paddy flew. Ball on ground. Out of bounds between wing and half forward. 8 goals. 12 goals 6 to 6 goals 3. That's on the Sportsmed scoreboard.
You're not far off, Rory. 110 possessions to the Eagles at 80% versus 57 possessions to Adelaide at 53%.
Yep, not a bad guess.
Australia 1 for 28. Danesfield hands it to Douglas, who's lifted his work rate. Spears a bullet.
Come on,
Taylor Walker takes a nice mark. With that, Tony Marks, Adelaide fresh mark of the night. He's on the outer wing. Launches a 45-metre kicker. Not a great one. And once again, the interceptor, the master interceptor, McGovern, just picks it off, goes to Prittis. 15 possession for him. Still racks him up. Schofield now, a little short ball.
Don't know what Simpson said at quarter time, but boy, oh boy, has it worked.
Goes to Marston. Yeah, I haven't seen 8 goal quarters. Marston now to Kennedy. Kennedy's kicked 1 goal, 2. Charlie has stuck to his guns. He just nonchalantly kicked across towards Shepherd. Probably too nonchalantly there. Adelaide have the numbers. Can they get the ball out? Going hard after it on the wing. It's not coming out. They're going in with Douglas.
He's not going to pay this, is he?
Oh, no!
Oh, please.
Number 6 again.
They've only played 2 tonight, I think. Bix both against Adelaide. Richard Douglas, slow to get up, saying, come and get the ball yourself. So the kick now to Gaff. What's his numbers? Picturing a chance. He's racking them up too.
Someone text me his name, number 6.
He said 17, Gaff.
So
he's a joke.
Eagles have doubled Adelaide's score. The big kick in the Nat Nui direction. He didn't get a leap at it. Hill slipped it out wide. Ends up with Lacroix. Don't tell me. Oh, it hit the post. Lacroix's been an outstanding player. 79 plays 14 on the margin out to 40 points on the Sportsman scoreboard.
And they're playing on now, Henderson. Only about 30 seconds left in the quarter. Half-time can't come around quick enough for Camporelli and the boys. Walker dropped another mark. Great tackle on the outer side. Don't argue on Ellis, out of bounds between half-back and wing, and we've got ourselves a throw-in. 79-39, margin 40.
Some massive numbers for the West Coast Eagles. 222 disposals, and it's not even half-time yet. They've got 5 players who've had 17 or more disposals.
Inside 50s, 38-19. Crows under the pump. They came out with spirit in the first quarter, kicked 6 goals in the first quarter, haven't added in the second. Crouch has been good. Fires the ball to Henderson. That was elite, that leg. Henderson now kicks it out wide. Siren sounds, and the Eagles faithful stand as one. Because that quarter they kicked 8 goals to 1 point. 8 goals to 1 point, an amazing turnaround. And after Adelaide had a handy lead of 13 or 14 at quarter time, the Eagles now lead by 40 points. 40 points. Let's go through the goal scorers. Plenty for the Eagles too. The West Coast Eagles. Firstly for Adelaide though, Walker's got 2, Cameron 2, Betts and Jenkins. They all came in the first quarter. And for the West Coast Eagles, 2 to Lacroix, 2 to Yeo, 2 to Darling, singles to Hill, Kennedy, Wellingham, Prittis, and Selwood and Gaff. Bix, an amazing turnaround. Adelaide basically held scoreless, and the West Coast Eagles rattled on 8 goals.
Yeah, look, it was once again late in that quarter. For the last 5 or 6 minutes, they got some sort of composure back. But there was a period for a good 20 minutes of the quarter where West Coast just dominated everything. And you talked about them lifting the intensity of the pressure up on Adelaide, and Adelaide just didn't handle that at all. They fumbled, they missed handballs, the ball was on the ground, and I think the salient stat that quarter, Adelaide's disposal efficiency was back to 50% after being up in the mid-70s in the first quarter. So when you're giving the ball back or you're ineffective as that every second possession of the footy, and you're giving the opportunity to the opposition. And West Coast, as Rowie mentioned before the game, they are the number one or the best side in terms of efficiency going inside their forward 50. You give them the chances, they're not going to let you off the hook.
Yeah, some big numbers too at the full lot soon, but Marston with 19, Rosen 19, Dangerfield 17, Gaff 17, Lacroix 17. Crouch and Prittis have had a head-to-head duel. It's been great. They both got 15 apiece. Look, take a break. A half-time wrap thanks to Foodland, but an amazing scintillating quarter by the Eagles. They lead at half-time 12-7-79. Adelaide Crows 6-3-39.
This is Fiveaa football. Thanks to Agostino Mitsubishi. Best on ground for your new Mitsubishi. Serving Adelaide for over 25 years.
Stephen Rowe and Mark Bickley, the Fiveaa Sports Show.
Mick Malthouse, our match review panel, talk about banging heads. They set the cat amongst the pigeons. Ridiculous.
I've been like this for 15, 20 years. You've got to have video evidence that shows precedence and then make a decision. But when they won't look at precedence, then you open up Pandora's box and you end up with results like this.
Rowie and Bix, weekday afternoons from 3, 13.95, Adelaide's Fiveaa.
When the sub comes on the ground, you know they're going to make an impact. Just like when you get a sub from Subway. Quality and a big burst of delicious. Go the Subway sub. Subway, eat fresh.
Booze Brothers. Beat the others cold.
Some brothers are famous for having famous sisters. We're famous for great booze prices, like Heineken Stubbies, just $14.99 a six-pack or $49.99 a carton. Or try Four Sisters Sauvignon Blanc, just 2 for $20. Black Douglas Scotch Whisky, only $29.99 each. And Pike Shiraz Tempranillo, just $13.99 each or $12.99 each in any 6. Find us at the Mile End Hotel, 30 Henley Beach Road, Mile End.
Oh, there are heaps of reasons why I shop at Norwood Foodland at Norwood Place. I mean, everything's just so easy there. You can get the best range of food and groceries, so I never have to go to other food shops for gourmet things. The staff are happy, they're friendly, and it's the little things like your parking. I can park in the basement or on the rooftop car park, so I'm just sorted no matter what the weather's doing. It's just a really nice place to shop.
For the best service and the best groceries, head to Norwood Foodland or check them out at norwoodfoodland.com.au to learn more about their award-winning store and great recipe ideas.
No, dear. I said pasta salad. One really must listen to one's mother. Hello. Sorry about that. He's to inherit the Commonwealth, but he can't handle the salad bar at the Windsor Hotel. And they have everything so well laid out. So many fresh choices. It truly is fit for a queen or a king in training. One is so dreadfully doubtful for the future. thewindsor.net.au. Make a royal appointment today.
Hey, Mum. You know how Homestyle Living is building our new veranda?
Yes, sweetheart.
Will it be ready in time for my birthday party?
Of course it will. Homestyle are building it.
This winter, you'll save up to 25% on your new Homestyle Living veranda or pergola. Plus, it'll be made using genuine BlueScope Colorbond steel and has a 20-year warranty. So start planning your party now.
Dreams we're building at Homestyle Living Outdoors.
Call 1300 466 378.
When the sub comes on the ground, you know they're going to make an impact. Just like when you get a sub from Subway. Quality and a big burst of delicious. Go the Subway sub. Subway, eat fresh.
Fiveaa invites you to catch the last cab to Darwin.
Well, I want to play football, and he wants to kill himself.
Join Rex on an epic journey from Broken Hill to Darwin in the new film by Jeremy Sims, Last Cab to Darwin, starring Michael Caton.
We hope to see you at a special premiere screening of Last Cab to Darwin. We look forward to seeing you there.
Register on the fiveaa.com.au win page to attend the premiere screening, hosted by Will Goodings at Wallace Cinemas Mitcham, which includes a Q&A with Jeremy and Michael. Go to fiveaa.com.au to win now.
5AA and Brooksy's Good Guys Twitter at 5AAFL. It's your access to the 5AA commentary team on your home of football. 1395, Adelaide's 5AA. This is 5AA football. Thanks to Agostino Mitsubishi. Best on ground for your new Mitsubishi. Serving Adelaide for over 25 years.
This is an exciting game right now. They look up and about Adelaide. It's a hot game. That's what it is.
They've cranked it up, the Eagles. Cranked it up. McGrath somehow has. Gave it to Yo. Yo will kick around his body. He loves it. It's a goal.
Kennedy salutes. 5 goals in a row for the West Coast Eagles.
Goal, bang, boom. Ouch.
Yeah.
Ouch. Amazing quarter from the West Coast Eagles. 8 goals to zip after Adelaide did kick 6 of the 7 in the first quarter. Bix an amazing turnaround. The margin's 40. It's a long way back home for the Crows. Hard to see them winning the game, but, well, we wondered how they'd play. They came out a little bit slow. They got all the energy in the world. They dominated about 20 minutes, but that was Eagles' quarter by a long shot.
Yeah, they just got the momentum, and they, like you said during the call, they cranked the pressure up, and Adelaide just didn't handle it. They got jumpy. They over-possessed the ball, lots of handballs, and just kept giving it back to the opposition. And when you do that, and as we said, they were an efficient side. They just went forward. Kennedy was good. They worked for each other inside forward 50. The delivery to the forwards was good. Nat Newey was just outstanding in the ruck. They got on top both in the centre square and in the clearances around the ground, and that just kept putting the Adelaide defenders under pressure, and unfortunately they made a couple of little errors, and every time they did, they were scored against.
Just another game too, as you go to the stats leading ball gatherers. North Melbourne doing it nicely now. They lead Geelong 71-40, so 5 goals up there and look like they're going to beat the Cats. And earlier today, Western Bulldogs, 10-goal last quarter, got up and beat the Gold Coast Suns by 22.
Yeah, look, the other thing that didn't help, obviously, was Patrick Dangerfield going off. It looked like someone's head came into contact with his mouth, and he either knocked some teeth out or chipped them or put the tooth through the top lip, and he was off the ground for 5 or 6 minutes, and that's just when the West Coast Eagles were able to really get that ascendancy. So whilst he was off the ground, Adelaide really did hurt, and they struggled to recover after that. They tried some players behind the footy for a period of time, but that didn't work either. That just gave the West Coast Eagles a lot of loose players behind the ball themselves, and they just kept chipping it around, finding the loose players, so they called that off after a couple of minutes also. So, look, the Adelaide coach's box, they tried a few things, didn't really work, but just the last 4 or 5 minutes, they actually had a couple of inside 50s. Richard Douglas got his hand on it. Patrick Dangerfield came back onto the ground and got involved. But, look, they just weren't able to put any ascendancy onto the scoreboard.
Good teams run in waves, Bix, and the Eagles, the amount of times we called from half back through the centre, you look, they had lieutenants out to the left and to the right, and men running through the centre as well. They're set options. You can almost pick and choose. And being a defender, watching the cavalry come towards you, it's hard. You don't know what to do. Stick to your man, try and intercept, whatever. And I think, as we said, they're a bit like rabbits in the headlights. But that's Eagles' confidence.
Let's have a look at the numbers, though. We talked about how much ball that the West Coast Eagles had. They had 222 in Priddis 15. They're the type of blokes you don't want to have footy, because Gaff, Maston, Lacroix are all excellent ball users. They're all 84, 79%, 76%. They're all running at very high disposal efficiency. For Adelaide, it was Dangerfield. He was outstanding. Like I said, he's missed probably 6 or 7 minutes of footy, but he still had 17 disposals, 11 contested possessions, 6 clearances after he had 5 of those in the first quarter. So he's been outstanding. Matt Crouch has been going head-to-head with Priddis. They've both had 15 disposals. Crouch has had a couple of clearances as well. Just looking at Priddis's numbers, he's had 4 clearances. So that's been a great education for Matthew Crouch. He's only a young man, but look, he's going toe-to-toe with the Brownlow medalist at the moment, and he doesn't
Great
look
Jill, that
out
one.
of his depth at all. Laird has had 14 disposals. Douglas, I said, he got busy the last half of that quarter. He had 7 or 8 disposals, so he was the leading disposal getter in the second quarter for Adelaide, and himself just tried to pick up the guys around the ball and try and get something going, but just he was doing a bit of a lone hand. Thompson also, Douglas 14. Thompson's had 9, so Adelaide have got 4 players with disposals in the double figures, and if you look across the other side, West Coast have got something like 9, so it just shows how much more footy they've had, and how much, or literal, they've relied on 1 or 2 players. It's been a much more broad
Just a sportsman update too. They get you back to work quicker. We heard Jake Lever back on the ground, so looks like there's no serious damage there. Looked nasty when he came off.
Did he hit the sort of the top of the head of the player he went to tackle, and it was on that sort of that bony area above the eye, and often you can fracture those eye sockets, but it looked like it would certainly split open, and there was blood flowing quite freely, and the eye looked like it was closing over, and we're just hopeful that wasn't a fracture, but it looks as if he's back out there.
And the other one, Danger, may have lost a tooth, but also split lip, and that he came back on after getting stitched up, so courageous effort there. So that's a sports med update. What about moves? It looked so good for a while, and that's early in the first quarter, or after 10 minutes, Crows polled on 6 goals, and it was as fluid a movement as we've seen all year. They seemed to have the most open forward line. In the second quarter, they couldn't. Every time it did go forward, Eagles had numbers back.
Yeah, look, I guess what we saw is when they did it in the first quarter, we talked about them taking the game on. They hit some passes through the middle of the ground, and when it came off, they got over the back and they scored. Well, that was the opposite in the second quarter, where they tried for some of those same kicks, but they just sometimes they picked some poor options. They kicked to players that were outnumbered. Jacobs dropped the mark and was against 3 on the ground, and they scored from that. They went again from a kick out to David McKay. He wasn't able to get to it, and it was 1v4 on the ground, and they scored from that one. So it's one thing to be brave, but you still have to be able to go to a player who's still got a really good chance of winning the footy. But when they're outnumbered by 2 or 3, if it doesn't work for you, it's going to hurt you going back the other way.
If you want to send a tweet, Brooksy's good guys at Mile End, you can send us a tweet. Half-time, winter's definitely here. Go see Brooksy for absolutely everything. I've seen Bix down there. They've got all the gear, the TVs, the heaters, anything you like electrical, they've got it. Look, we'll take a break. An amazing transformation in the game, and it's 12-7 the West Coast Eagles, Adelaide 6-3. It's a margin of 40. Hopefully the Crows can come back up. It's been an amazing week in all kinds of form in Australian rules footy. We'll take a break. Eagles leading by 40.
This is 5AA football. Thanks to Agostino Mitsubishi. Best on ground for your new Mitsubishi. Serving Adelaide for over 25 years.
$13.95. Adelaide's 5AA.
Are you seriously suggesting, Premier, that you might be prevented from entering the CBD?
We are paying idiots who really are not entitled to anything.
Talking Adelaide.
There's a social phenomenon that didn't exist before 10, 15 years ago.
I'm a bit down because you called me an AFL apologist, Rory. I'm hurt.
Covering the news and issues that matter.
My God, they'd listen to us. They couldn't afford not to listen to us.
$13.95.
I'm highly committed to this position.
Adelaide's 5AA.
I'd saved a deposit for an investment property. Then I met Karen. Oh, we were made for each other. Did everything together. So we thought, let's move in. 2 years and one big argument later, she says, I know my rights. If we break up, I'll get half the investment property. Great. What now?
Because even the best intentions can go horribly wrong, at Webster's Lawyers, we're on your side. To prove it, our first personal consultation is free. In family law, we're working with you and for you. websterslawyers.com.au.
Always dreamed of cruising the Mediterranean? Phil Hoffman Travel and Holland America Line can help you. Unpack once and enjoy premium dining, amazing European cities, including Venice, Santorini, Istanbul and more. Phil Hoffman Travel have 2016 early bird deals from only $6,490, including flights from Adelaide, 24-night Magic of the Mediterranean cruise and exclusive Phil Hoffman Travel bonuses. Register now for free information sessions, July 23rd to August 6th. Visit pht.com.au.
Graham's a keen cyclist. He's not a pro or anything, and he's only just plucked up the courage to wear Lycra. So if he had a fall and broke his wrist, SportsMed SA would help with a modern specialist hospital at Stepney and a team of expert orthopaedic surgeons. It means Graham would be back on his bike in no time, new Lycra and all. Ask your doctor for a referral to SportsMed SA with 7 convenient locations. Visit sportsmed.com.au.
Hi, Kevin Sheedy here. Long way back I was a plumber, so I know how frustrating it is standing around waiting for repairs you need. I also know a name you can trust is Ryco. If you need hydraulic hose repairs in a hurry, Ryco 24/7 is a mobile service that will come to you, wherever you are. Their vans are on the road with fully qualified and certified hose repairers, supported in SA by another trusted name, BL Shipway. Call Ryco 24/7 on 133 247 or check them out online at ryco247.com.au.
Taking time to listen can make all the difference. Farrell & O'Neill Funerals is a South Australian family company committed to guiding and supporting families at an emotional time. We value a lifetime by offering a compassionate, caring and unique service with attention to the smallest detail. Finding guidance through a difficult time can be comforting. Farrell & O'Neill Funerals, 8296 3134.
We can fix your oven, taps, space heaters, your irrigation system, roof leaks, rusting gutters and downpipes. We can even retile your bathroom. We do it all. Your experience starts with ours. Give Ken a call for knowledge, reliability and respect from our plumbing team. Ken Hall Plumbers, your local plumbers since 1983. Your experience starts with ours. Give Ken a call. 8364 5855.
Hi, I'm Damien. I'm an RSP puppy educator. I've trained 3 dogs in a 4-year period. I'm retired and having the dog gets me out, and I walk quite a bit with her, otherwise I'd stay home all the time. It is a great social life, all the puppy educators, we all get to know each other. If I got the attention from the ladies that she gets, I'd be a very happy man.
Find out how you can become a Royal Society for the Blind puppy educator. Call 8417 5656.
5AA and Brooksy's Good Guys Twitter at 5AAFL. It's your access to the 5AA commentary team on your home of football. 1395, Adelaide's 5AA. This is 5AA football. Thanks to Agostino Mitsubishi. Best on ground for your new Mitsubishi. Serving Adelaide for over 25 years.
And it is our half-time wrap thanks to Foodland. 12-7-79 West Coast. 8-goal quarter to 6 goals 3-39. A margin of 40 points. Bix, what do they need to do to get back into this? And I guess the question there is can they?
Yeah, look, it's a big ask. I think it all starts in the middle of the ground now. They're up against it with Nat Nui, who's been quite dominant in there. He just, when he jumps, he's got that spring. He's also got the size. It's very difficult to get your hand on the footy. I think they just have to nullify it a bit more and just make sure that if they don't win the tap or they don't win the clearance, that it's not one of those ones where it's getting out into space and they're running out of the centre square and driving it deep. The only time Adelaide looked dangerous, they've been able to square off in there, sort of hold it a bit tighter, and then their ball winners go to work, blokes like Thompson and Douglas and Dangerfield. So just as best they can, they've got to get Jacobs to get up, nullify the hit out from Nat Nui, and then go to work on the ground. If they can get the ball forward, they've looked quite dangerous when if they've been able to move it and have time and space and isolate, whether it be Tex Walker and his opponent one-on-one, or Josh Jenkins or Betts. The few times, particularly in the first quarter, obviously, when they went there, they looked really, really dangerous. But that second quarter, with only the 4 or 5 inside 50s, you just didn't see it at all. They just didn't get it in there. So it was very difficult to see whether the forwards were being effective or not.
Subway sub is Cam Ellis-Shulman. Would you look at getting him in earlier in the game than waiting into that last quarter?
I was thinking about that. Probably, obviously...
PV?
Yeah, no, I don't know. Obviously, generally the last 2 or 3 minutes of the third, I'll be looking, if it's not going the way you want, maybe, I don't know, the 15-minute mark, just try and inject him into the game. It's going to, just looking at the players that haven't had a whole heap of footy, you're right, Van Berlo hasn't had a whole lot of it. Matthew Wright's had 8. I don't know. So
Nida, what about Nida? On his debut, let him play the whole game.
I think you're right. I think he plays the whole game, and so it's probably one of those two guys. I'm just trying to think everyone else up forward. Yeah, so it's probably those guys in particular. But you need to get him through the middle of the ground, though.
Keep those Brooksy Good Guys mile-in tweets coming through. Winter definitely here, so go see Brooksy for absolutely everything heating. So 40 points the margin, 8 goals to nothing that quarter. They really need to fire the hell up. They like going towards the Subiaco goal in, so I think there was 14 goals have been kicked to the right of screen, Vic. So if there's anything, there's a zephyr of breeze going that way. Let's hope they have a big third quarter,
Just picked up a fraction, so they might be kicking with about maybe a 1 or 2 goal assistance.
Here we go, Fragostino Mitsubishi, start of the third, 40 points to margin, West Coast way, perfect bounce, Nat Nui, that is outstanding, down to Shuey, Sockers to himself, runs onto it now, Douglas is right with him, goes back, handballs to Prentice, long with that left leg forward, don't tell me Lacra's mark, he dropped it, Kennedy, still numbers win out, Yo comes crashing through, so too B. Smith, he fumbled in that right hand forward pocket, Yo goes back in after it, he handballed up, he's kept that into Maston and Nat Nui, he'll have a shot at goal, Nat Nui, on the right leg, goes into the pocket, Darling's there, out the back, Lacra, but it's gone through and out of bounds, right alongside that left-hand post. 12-7 to 6-3, margin 40, and we've played 1 minute on the paint away clock.
That's exactly what Adelaide didn't want. Nat Nui got up, he pushed into the space, and Shuey ran straight onto it.
Kangaroos by 32 over Geelong. It's only 20 up from their goal now. That's a West Coast goal. Thompson applies a tackle. Shuey in game number 100. Starts the third quarter the way they finished it up. Umpire said it's okay. It's a goal. It looked to be, may have been a finger on it, but not enough to change the course of the goal. So 85 to 39, and they strike the first blow, Bix, of the second half.
Yeah, it was just, it was a forward 50 stoppage. The ball bobbled around a bit, and then I'm not sure who that player was. Was it Prentice or was it...
Shuey kicked the goal.
No, I was just looking for the player on the ground. Might have been Cripps, got it out to him. Just hands and knees, handballed up, and then there it was. Shuey, as he's done so often in his career, just been on his toes, flipped it round the corner for a pretty neat goal from only about 15 metres out.
And Rowie Australia won for 85 off 16 overs. Warner's going crazy too. He's hit a few 4s and a 6, and Steve Smith 1 for 65 off 14.
Okay, here we go, 46 points to margin. Well done, Jacobs. Got it to ground ball with Prentice. Does a big 360 long with that left leg, just outside 50. Coming out is Darling. So too Lacraji. Darling's recovery was terrific. Gave the ball back to Gaff. They're just everywhere, West Coast. Coming through was right, got rock and roll. Good work, Douglas. Got the ball down to the ground. Again to Smith, to Dangerfield. He breaks through the corridor. Kicked it right into Nat Nui's guts. He gave it to Gaff, back to Nat Nui. He ran around. McKay goes into the pocket. It's 1 and about 8. Well done. Good football by B. Smith. I reckon that was Brown that got hurt.
Yeah.
And it's gone out of bounds on that left-hand half-forward flank.
He just went for the ball, and Lacra, just watching it now in the replay, he might be in trouble there, Lacra, because he made contact with the head with the bump.
Gee, Crows need a few to lift too. Probably more than half the side. Thompson got the ball to Dangerfield. Always goes hard. Ellis now, the former Hawk, works it inside their forward 50. Reading it well there, Brodie Smith. Another player that hasn't found his form since a couple of head knocks. Got Jakey leave. This lad's going to be a good player for a number of years with Adelaide. Started well, copped a nasty knock in the second quarter. It came back courageously. Finds Brown, who finds Laird. Had a big first quarter, Rory Laird. Gaff stands the mark. Crows stop-start footy. Lynch had to hold his ground. Took a very nice mark. Tony marks Adelaide fresh. He's at half back. Kicks through a wall of players there up towards Douglas. Douglas went up and down, paved the way for Wright to take possession. Wright can cut him board back to Douglas. He's waiting for him to get ahead of him. Douglas spoils. Wright can go the way here. Can he finish? Oh, Cossey Kent, terrific kick right. It looked like he was waiting for Douglas to run past him and give up the handball. No one came, so he kept on going. He travelled 15 metres of the ball, kicked it 40, and boy, do they need that one, Bix. It's a goal to Adelaide, 13-7 to 7-3. Let's give that a Phil Hoffman.
Yeah, no doubt about that. It was fantastic work by Wright and Douglas. Just worked it out between them. The ball, they brought it to ground and got it over the back, and then Wright, he just had some time and space, and he's not a quick player, but he just trotted along. He had 3 bounces and then got to about 40 metres out and backed himself in. Had a couple of little leads coming at him. I think it was Jenkins was one, Walker was another, but showed enough confidence to kick the goal himself. And if ever Adelaide were going to get back in it with this margin, they probably need to win this quarter by 2 or 3 goals, and that's a great way to go about it.
Well, they got fight, we know that. They got courage. 40 points the margin. Nat Nui again was too good in the middle of the ground. Thompson somehow snapped it off, ran into Nat Nui. Coming through was Dangerfield, and Thompson rips up Nat Nui, and there'll be a secondary stoppage right in the middle of the ground. 13 goals, 7. 85 West Coast to 7-3-45. As we said, that margin 40 points on the Auto Pro scoreboard. Umpire throws it up. That's number 6 on you, mate. Jacobs got it down. Bunga Hearn in front. Handball from Yo to Prittis. How strong is he in traffic, this lad? To Marston. He goes long with that handball to the outer side. Rose her to Hearn. Bunga goes bang. Yo broke from there. Got the ball. Gave it to Sheed. Left leg. He goes forward. Sinclair's mark. When they've got ball in hand, I'm going to make a call. As good as any team in the AFL.
Yeah, look, their kicking skills have been fantastic. There was just an opportunity, though. Charlie Cameron, the ball got flipped out to a West Coast player. I think it might have been Prittis, and Charlie Cameron came in and bumped him. He just rolled with the bump, and then Charlie fell to the ground. Prittis handballed to a West Coast player, and away they went. We talked about Taylor Walker doing it earlier in the game. They've just got to be better than that. There's a chance to wrap it up and have another stoppage. Instead, Sinclair's having a shot at goal.
Sinclair now from 48 metres going towards the city end. He loves it off the boot. It's going to fall a little short, and Jacobs is going to take an Adelaide Fresh Tonia marking the day on the goal line. They play on. West Coast was good at kicking team, I reckon, as Hawthorn to Crouch into the pocket, gave it to Lever. He did the don't argue, goes forward. Oh, gee, had to go back. Walker, shocking kick. And McGovern's mark. He goes into the corridor now. Cripps will mark and play on. He gets onto his right hand, handballs out to Shuey. 100th game, Shuey. Will the ball sit? It does. He chips it over the top to Prittis. He gets a 1-2 bites of the cherry. He takes hard. The mark. Yeah. He really does. In traffic, as good a player in the game at the minute. Goes forward. Gee, they can raffle it between about 8. Kennedy was there, Cripps was there, Gaff was there, and he's marked 40 out all but directly in front, and that was poor defence.
Yep.
Poor defence.
You wonder how, look, it wasn't a super quick play. Prittis had to get it and then go back off the mark. They just didn't respond quickly enough, Adelaide. And there was, like you said, a little gaggle of eagles just in the middle of the 50-metre area.
A gaggle?
I don't know.
Okay.
Gaggle of geese.
Gaff goes gaff, and that's a gaff. That's a huge gaff. That's a big gaff. 14 goals, 7-3, double the score. Margin out to 46 on the Auto Pro scoreboard.
Spoke to Kane Corns, Bix, about Andrew Gaff. He said he's one of the harder working players to try and stand, because he doesn't stand still. He doesn't worry about a tag. You might beat him, but you're going to have to work for it. He'll run both ends. He's got an elite motor. And he's averaging around the 29 possessions per game this year, which is just remarkable. He's up there with Prittis.
Yeah, look, a high draft pick. I think he's in the top 3 or 4 draft picks. But just the error for Adelaide came with Jake Lever, though, coming out of defence. He had Taylor Walker to spot up, and he just overcooked the kick. It went 2 metres over his head, and that sent the ball going back into the Eagles' 50. So it's just those errors. Every time Adelaide have made an error coming out of their defensive 50, it's gone straight back over the head and cost them a goal.
Margin 46 and getting ugly at the moment. Crouch, he's been a shining light. It's done well today. Got it off to Thompson. Jake Lever from half back. Just shows poise. He doesn't panic, Lever. A little short ball to his mate and Laird. Laird goes right across the face of goal to half back to Brown. Was it Hardigan? 14-7 to 7-3. Adelaide led by 14 points at quarter time, so they go wide again to Talia. Talia, little short ball to Brown. Luke Brown runs hard at it. Goes out even wider now to Thompson, the wily veteran.
Great kick.
Works it up to Betts. He needs to lift Eddie Betts. Little short ball to half-forward. Kick was good now. Saw Jenkins kick a goal from here in the practice before the game. Will he go for home? No, he kicked about 8 metre kick to Lynch. And Lynch can have a shot from 45 metres out directly in front.
Well, he made a blue there, Jenkins, just before that, because when he marked it, he just turned his back on play. Matthew Wright was all on his own about 15 metres out from goal, and just Jenkins didn't see him there, and then in the end he rolled. It was too late. But Tommy Lynch, his great mate, just presented up, and he did a little chip kick across his body. Lynch now is going to shoot from about 45 metres directly in front.
51st game tonight, Lynch. Lynch's kick for goal is pretty good. That's a really nice kick from Tom Lynch. That's a Phil Hoffman travel goal of the night.
Come on, boys, have fight.
Well, Lynchy's, what's he kicked? 17 goals for the year's first tonight. Adelaide get one back to reduce the deficit to 40.
It was good ball movement. Hartigan started. He was on the 50-metre line on the half-back flank. They switched the play. It went to Lever and to Talia, Brown, and went through all those players. Scott Thompson's kick was the critical one. He found Eddie Betts, and then Betts just wheeled around and hit the big fella Josh Jenkins leading out. As I said, he missed the quick play on to Matty Wright, but then he got a good little lead up from Tom Lynch. He found him with a nice kick, and then he was able to finish off.
Lynch's work rate and multiple leads to get on the end of that. He's a diamond. 40 points the margin. Auto Pro scoreboard. Played 10 minutes here in the third quarter. Sinclair gets the ball down. Thompson runs onto it. Selwood's there. Dives over it. Couldn't keep his feet. Coming through his Cripps. If he gets that forward, Crows are in trouble. Yo's there. Here it goes now. Yo's got it. Left leg. Inside 50. Henderson sits behind the ball, but Talia goes up and takes an Adelaide fresh. Tony and Mark's mark of the day. Just watching Dangerfield, he's dislocated a finger, so he's not having a great night.
Sydney Talia's done well today. He's held Kennedy to 1 goal 2, and they've been attacking incessantly. Shepherd around the body for another one. No, wrong side of the post.
Hit the post.
92 to 51, margin back to 41. But Talia, when you think of the wall of wave of ball that's coming at him, Bix, he's only conceded the 1 goal.
He's a hard man to play on.
Against the leader in the Coleman medal, Walker, needs to lift. Oh, see, good mark, Sinclair. Young man, they got some tools. Nat Nui, Sinclair, Lyston not playing. Big fella not sure what to do. So he kicks up, not a great kick really. Adelaide should swallow this, and they do through Henderson.
They've struggled coming out from their kick-outs. It's either, the 1v2 each time, and it's been really difficult. Walker's had a hard day.
There was a courageous kick to Thompson, gave it to Smith. Smith to Laird. Laird long, loopy handball to Matty Wright, right-hand half-back flank, goes long up onto that outside wing. He's kicked it to about 5 of them. What would you call him? A gather of them.
Don't kick to McGovern.
McGovern now gives it to Ellis in the middle of the ground. Left leg like a tracer bullet to Shuey on the wing. Gave it off to Gaff. This bloke gets forward to the play as good as any. Chips it over the top. Paddy went back, couldn't quite get it. Selwood's there, dives back on it. He's really trying hard, Paddy. Honestly, he is really busting his guts, and there's a ball up just inside 50. Left-hand half-forward flank for the Eagles.
Well, that was one where the ball would bounce free, and Selwood just dived on it and dragged it back under, and they call it as a ball up after the 2 horrible decisions they'd paid earlier.
Patrick again wins another contested ball. Left leg goes forward, but Ellis's mark on the left-hand half-forward flank. Back through the corridor. Gee, that's a superb leg. Shepherd's marked it. So West Coast by 41. They led by 40 at half-time. We played 11 minutes here on the paint-away clock. Long inside 50. Kennedy's in front. Patrick Dangerfield. He's everywhere, Paddy. They give that an Adelaide fresh. Tony and Mark's mark of the day.
He's like Superman finds the lever now. Australia 1 for 71 in their pursuit of 412.
They'll get it.
I think the second or third highest target ever if they can achieve that. But Warner and Smith going along nicely. Talking about Smith, there's Brodie Smith, a pumping kick in the Lynch direction, kicked Adelaide's last goal. Taylor Walker's been a quiet player.
Brilliant.
Sells a bit of candy, goes long up inside the forward 50. Reading it well there was Schofield. In pursuit there is Riley Knight, the bigger man, one out, and takes it over and out. About 30 around from Adelaide's goal. Margin 41. Paint-away clock says 13 gone, third term. Big West Coast Eagle crowd enjoying it. And, they look heading for win number 10. A remarkable effort. Up goes Thompson. Crouch has been good. Then approach to Prentice. Both being Thompson took his time. And Darling raced in from the side. And Collis Thompson and gets holding the ball.
Number 6 again. Oh, he's having a ripper. Oh, I love him. Oh, I really do. Ball to the outer side, gave it to Shepherd, now to Wellingham, 41 points to the margin. West Coast way, he's kicked that out of bounds on the fork as the chase by Eddie Betts, and Charlie Cameron was outstanding. 14-8, to 8 goals 3. Margin 41 on the Auto Pro scoreboard. Told to play on now. Going short. Anderson shotgun kick. You heard Bix. Oh dear. Oh dearie me. Taylor Walker not happy with that moustache of his, and it's gone out of bounds. 40 metres around from that left-hand post. 5 AFL for Agostino. Mitsubishi will keep all those scores coming in with the cricket. Big throw in now. Sinclair. Good work. Jenkins in front. Dangerfield wrapped up his man with Douglas. And I reckon Shuey's going to get one for 2 high. He does it as good as Selwood, I reckon. Shuey now goes short. Finds Maston. He's been everywhere. I'd hate to get his stats.
Yeah, we had a big first quarter. They've knocked him down a bit since then, but he's been busy. They've had a few mates too. Gaff's been great. And there's Hill. Hill kicks it out of bounds on the full. 14-8 to 8-3. 14 gone on the paint-away clock.
At least they've wrestled back a bit of initiative.
Yeah, they have. It hasn't been one-way traffic, certainly this quarter, but it just, like I said, let them down a couple of times going inside 50 and just some disposal errors.
Was heading for a blowout, still may well be, but Talia's got it at half-back. Not a great kick. Shuey waited. And they came in after him. Lynch did well. Back to Knight. Knight now. Josh Jenkins fires a ball in the Charlie Cameron direction. A brilliant first quarter. Kicked a couple and gave out one. Did well then too. Kicked inside the forward 50. Eagles need a good bounce. They don't get one. Betts goes to ground. He thought he may have been legged. The ball squirts out towards Ellis. Betts again. Really good stuff. Douglas, here's going to be walking goal surely. Walker will get his third and does. Well played, Adelaide. They persevered there. It wasn't pretty footy, but finally the ball came out the back to Taylor Walker and he gets his third goal.
Well, and it was great work by Charlie Cameron at half forward. It was a quick kick forward from Jenkins, and it was Cameron versus McGovern, and he just was able to use his body to get McGovern under the footy. And then was battling against the boundary line, got it forward, and there was a great combination between Betts and Walker. They were fighting 2v2, and then along Douglas came, the ball bobbled out. He had great vision, and he handballed over his head, and Walker had run on and then kicked his third goal, Tex. I don't think any of them have been from more than a metre out.
Eddie Betts ground ball wins. How clever is he?
Yeah, he's very clever.
Slapped it. He's got the quickest hands in the world. That nice little tap on Richard Douglas unselfishly over the top. Texie Walker gets his third Phil Hoffman travel goal of the day. 15 minutes gone. Paint away clock. Back in the middle. Margin 35. Nat Nui again wins it out the sheet. Long with that right leg inside 50. If the Crows had Nat Nui in their team, they'd be in front. Smith now gave the ball out to the running Henderson, who's been great in the back line. Goes forward. Bunga Hearn full chested. Gave to Gaff. Now back to Cripps. He's got an unusual leg, but he gets it through it inside 50. Big fist through the ball by Talia. Well done, Mike. Got absolutely rock and roll. Where's number 6 when you want him? I know what. You're a clown. Coming through's McKay. He gets rock and roll by Nat Nui. Great tackle. Ball up on the left hand half-back flank. 92 to 57. Margin 35 West Coast way.
Haven't minded Riley Knight. As the game sort of unfolded, he's got more and more involved. He was very unlucky not to get a free kick then.
Yeah, agree, Bix. He doesn't look out of place, that's for sure. The ball's on the wing for the Eagles, but right as he held it in, he's kicked it out of bounds on the full. Right on the interchange gate here at the main stadium.
1 for 75 Australia. Warner not out 42, and Smithy not out 18. Need 412. I'll get him.
Well, they're going to need to put on a couple hundred of those two. They're two of the best batsmen in the side. No doubt Steve Smith can make big runs. Sheed there worked it back towards Prittis. Somehow got the arms free. Now they get hold of him, but now he poked it out.
That's
ended up with Gaff. Gaff up towards half-foot. Lever read the ball beautifully.
And solid again.
How good is he?
Yeah, love him.
It's just a kid, not even 20 yet.
How good is
Game number 5, and he's gutsy. Copped a couple of hard knocks too. Ran himself into trouble. Forced to poke along the wing. Gaff couldn't take it. You recall his name a bit tonight. Gets slung to ground. Umpire's going to come and say my ball. So it's around 17 metres out from the West Coast Eagles goal.
I'd get Ellis Shulman out there, honestly.
I think so.
Game's in the balance right now. 17 minutes gone.
So who do you take off?
Subway sub. Oh, Van Burler.
Yeah, he's the one for me.
Nat Nui now wins the toss, gets it down. Shuey on the left leg, goes forward. Kennedy now one-on-one, almost got a one-hander out of bounds. 45 metres around from that left-hand post. 14-8 to 9-3. Margin 35. Subway sub. Crows can win this. They can dead set win it. I know that's being a little bit optimistic, but they can dead set win it. Still plenty of time left in the third quarter on that paint away clock. Nat Nui out the back. Knights dives in over it. That was a great win. Shocking it through. Geez, clever in close crouch. Tackled by Prittis. He gets the ball down to ground. Kennedy gets rock and rolled. 2 by Smith. Umpire lets it go. And there's another ball up inside 50. for West Coast Eagles. Nat Nui now with Jenkins. Sinclair's there. Lever had to get a glove onto it. Paddy won it. Gets out of traffic through Jenkins. Oh, he had time to get rid of that. Long leg, but Willingham goes back and takes a great mark and goes across the face of goal.
Straight across he goes to Rosa. At 17.5 time did Rosa. Van Berlo's got the job on Marston's had that in the second and third quarter. Forced to stand his ground. Did really well. Took a nice mark. Plays on quickly. Out towards, is it Cameron now? He'll get around. He's a clever player. Got around Rosa so easily. Kicks towards his mate Eddie Betts. Betts takes the mark. It's a Cameron Betts show. The two little fellas combine beautifully.
Oh, Eddie Betts
can go back and kick his second goal. So Adelaide keeping in the hunt. Betts a shot for goal. Oh, he just snuffed on the wrong side of the post. Can't believe that from Eddie. 220 games to his credit. Not his best kick. 92-58, the margin, 34.
Just stabbed at it a bit, didn't he? It was good work by Van Berlo. Won a great one-on-one and then played on and got it out to Charlie Cameron to set up that shot, but just couldn't finish it off.
Margin 34. McGovern with a big mark. Good fish there by Douglas. Kept in by Laird. Goes long into the pocket. Charlie Cameron's got the sit if he's good enough to get the mark. Ball tumbles through for another point. Margin out the 33. Auto Pro scoreboard. Won the quarter by 7 points to Crow. Big kick up the corridor. Paddy got a glove onto it. Hardigan comes through. Can handball to Laird. They're having a moment, but they need a goal. D-Mac arches his back inside 50 and Mark's been taken on the line. Gee, if that had gone through, Ellis now on that left leg.
Looking for Prentice. Well done, Riley Knight again. Bolt, the champion midfielder for West Coast Eagles. So 33 points the margin. They've wrested back the initiative in the last 10 minutes, Adelaide.
2 more goals this quarter, they can win it.
Yep, need a couple of goals for sure. Most of the goals have been scored in their kicking, even though there's no breeze at all. Prentice again. His handball, one of the few that hasn't hit the body. Crouch has been good. Oh, he got smashed there by Kennedy.
Eagles are that in the back, number 6.
It's a big-bodied
Did anybody text his name? Number 6, please.
It said, I got a text here that says, Rory, I think you'll find your friend umpire number 6 is the same one you went Troppo over against the St Kilda game.
Correct.
Throwing again, Dangerfield. Adelaide having a moment here. Wright couldn't take it, Yo could. Back to Sinclair to Gaff. The star, budding young stars, Gaff. Darling got pushed out.
Please, no.
Oh, now he's paid that one.
They said
you're
tunnelled.
having a ripper, number 6.
But
you are having a ripper.
Nui. I thought Darling was tunnelled.
Darling was the player that was offended against, and now Nat Nui's taken the kick.
He is having a ripper.
I'm quite sure what happened there. So the short kick goes back to Schofield. Can go over the top now. He's got McGovern. Can look out even wider. They're all queuing up now. Bungahearn has it. Little short ball. Finds Rosa. Sweeping handball out. Got Willingham out wide. Short ball now. A chance to go forward. Hurry kick. Spots his man on the other side. Looks like Selwood.
Are they as good a kicking team as Fremantle? Hawthorn? Honestly, come on.
No, I don't think they are. That one there was poor play by Adelaide. Adelaide did an interchange and 2 players came off, so they were effectively 2 players short, and it was just the overlap, and there was a chain of 6 uncontested marks, so it was just unfortunate Adelaide didn't quite get that interchange right.
I don't think anyone kicks as good as Hawthorn. Kick from a long way out, lands right in the square. Dangerfield got the backhand and fist to it. And a minor score eventuates for the Eagles. 14-9 to 9-5.
We had a Brooksy Good Guy smile in tweet. Surprise, surprise, Rowie. Your man is Dean Margetts, and guess which state he's from? Have a guess.
No, don't go down that
have a guess.
No, I don't know. Victoria.
No, West
Queensland.
Australia. He's a West Australian. Agostino Mitsubishi.
That's a stupid comment.
Not alluding to anything there. That was a Brooksy Good Guy tweet. Margin is out to 34 points. Big spins from behind. Great crumb by McKay. Jacobs was there. Walker has to go. He did go. Tackled his man. That's going to be 50. Oh, it should have been 50 to Shepherd. Very unlucky. Shepherd now goes out to Bungahearn. He goes into the half-forward flank. Hill's taken the mark. So Crows need a couple of goals before 3/4 time on the Painaway clock. What do we had? 22 minutes. Hill now long inside 50. Jacobs will get a fish through the ball. Up goes Talia. Ball on the ground. Selwood empties back. Yo can empty back again. Gaff will get his third on his left. He's a star. He can play the slap. He's got his third. From treble goal of the day, and the margin's out to 39, and I'm dreaming to even think the Crows could win this.
Yeah, well, it was unfortunate for Adelaide because they had probably 5 or 6 minutes where they They had their hands on the footy. It was in their front half. They kept pressing and pressing. They scored a couple of times, but just now the ball went up the other end, and then when West Coast had the opportunity, they just made it pay.
Subway sub's got to be pulled. Get Ellis Shulman on. Get him on.
Australia won for 83.
We talked before the game about Maston and Gaff. Those two players, they're two of the leading possession winners on the ground. Gaff's had 25, Maston 22. Their ability just to kill you on the outside. They've got blokes that win it like Selwood and Priddis, and they get it out to those boys who are silky smooth.
Kangaroos lead Geelong by 33. Out of the blocks goes Dangerfield. Needs to hit a target. Didn't. The result ball goes to LaCroix. He's had a good game too. Back to Marston. Now to Wellingham. Riley Knight did really well. Slips out a handball to Betts. Runs to 50 and he can go all the way. Oh, he runs himself into trouble. Slipped over. Got back. Kicked it about 5 metres. Not long enough. Knight again. Back to Lynch. Lynch now. What can he do? He spots the man.
Yes.
Good kick in the end. Brodie Smith in the end of it. And Smith can have a shot from goal from 35 out directly in front. Well played, Crows there.
Well, that was great play. Riley Knight was the smotherer. He stopped the play, then it went back the other way. And a couple of times they showed real composure. Eddie Betts on one knee, got the handball out. I think it was Charlie Cameron got it over to Tommy Lynch. And then Lynchy, who has been known to have a shot at different stages, was just able to use his great vision and found Brodie Smith. And he's 30 metres out directly.
Ellis Shulman about to come on. Brodie Smith kicks towards goal and bangs it through. Is he? He has. He's pretty happy with that. Well done, Smith. Well done, the Crows. They won't go away. 15-9 to 10-5. High-scoring game here. The margin back to 34 on the Auto Pro scoreboard.
Yeah, just that cricket score at the moment. Australia 1 for 84 in the second. Dick Warner not out 47 and SPD Smith who's not out 22.
Who's subbed off there, Bix?
Well, Cam Ellis-Shulman came on. He came on. Matt Crouch came off, but I wouldn't have thought that Matt Crouch.
I think you'll find it'll be VB.
Yeah,
it has to be VB.
He's the obvious one. He's only had the 6 disposals. I know he's been playing on. Yeah, there it goes. Just flicked over then on the stats screen. Nathan Van Berlo subbed out.
Well, we got that one right. Margin back to 34 points on the Auto Pro score. Well, back in the middle we go. Couple of minutes left this quarter. Another goal will make it very interesting. Nat Nui again flies high. Dangerfield got it because Thompson snapped it off. Long inside 50 and Mark needed courage with Shepherd. He went with it.
Here's a go.
And he left Charlie Cameron. Can he handle over to Matty Wright? Matty Wright can give it off down to Knight. He's gone! Niner, here come the Crows! 28 points the margin. They all get around little R9. Look at them all run. I love it. Brown has run 150 metres. Riley Knight, welcome to AFL. Got his first goal. A Phil Hoffman travel goal of the day, and she is game on.
Oh, well.
Blood pressure's up. I don't care about my migraine. Give me another Disprin. You little. Guilty.
Great team goal. There was players that shared. It was Dangerfield out of the middle. He picked it up. He ran out of the middle. Jenkins gave a contest. Charlie Cameron was involved in. He's been a great player tonight. Then it was a series of handballs. You just didn't know if Wright was going to handball to Riley Knight, and if he's going to get it to his boot in time. He just got it as he was tackled. And another goal from the goal square to Adelaide. They've had about 7 of them tonight.
Well, the margin was 46 a moment ago. It's back to 28, and Adelaide go forward again. Through Laird, pumps up towards the Lynch. Gee, good mark, Tommy. Rosa stands the mark. He wants 50, doesn't get it.
3
Another
minutes
one
left.
now. Plenty of time for a couple more goals. Tommy Lynch, the big lead up forward. The redhead kicks into the pocket. Who's going to take the mark? No one. West Coast Eagles all of a sudden under a little bit of pressure. Marston gave it back to Wellingham. He kicked in more in hope than anything. Selwood had a little fumble. Shuey had a fumble. Selwood got it back to Priddis. Priddis never misses a target. Back to Shuey. Oh, they broke clear holding the ball. They paid a holding the ball.
Riley Knight.
And Adelaide, is it number 6?
No.
Oh,
He's down the other end.
Free kick to Adelaide. They go forward again. Someone needs to stand up now. Mark not taken. Well, Walker couldn't get a glove on it. Marston again. To Rosa. Umpire pays advantage. Does he? No, he's going to bring it back.
Oh, it's unfortunate because Adelaide had
about 5-1 there. I think a couple of interchanges came on at the right time. So the game, once again, starting to turn. The margin is less than 5 goals. Matt Rosa with the ball. 28 gone in the pain away clock. Can Adelaide do the unthinkable, come from 8 goals down and pinch a game? Still lots of time left. It's still a quarter. We know it's a high-scoring game.
Great fight.
Eagles just take their time. Looks like LaCroix on the other side.
28 points to the margin. Great fight by the Crows in this last 5 minutes of the quarter. Gaffers marked it, right hand, half-back flank. 15-9 to 11-5. As we said, margin 28. Auto Pro scoreboard.
Just heard Vic say, could we?
Could we? Long leg up the forward line. Good work there by Jacobs. He gets the ball back. Hill's got it. Gee, no one went to him, so he chips it over the top. LaCroix should mark. Henderson fist out of bounds on the outer side wing. 5AA AFL for Agostino Mitsubishi. Margin 28 points. It was way out. Did he get to 55 points? No, 48 was the biggest margin. So Crows have got it within a bite-sized chunk of 28 with a quarter to play.
Kicked 3 of the last 4.
How do you pick a winner? Kangaroos 46 points up on Geelong. Their season, well, their top 8 season are just about over, you'd think. 99-71 here.
Come on, little camel showman.
Adelaide be a fantastic win to come from 7.5 goals down. Still a lot of work to do, but they are getting plenty of balls this week. They do like the end of the first and third quarters. Jacobs slapped it down. Bungerhurd imposed himself. Worked it a half forward. Talia's been really good. Shuey now. He's got support. In trips towards full forward. Just a long kick. It's gone!
Oh, touch.
And touch on the line. Boy, that's a big kick. They bring up the 100. They raise the bat, the margin out to 29.
Wow, great pace by Henderson. Ran back to the flight of the ball. Margin 29 points. They need one more goal, the Crows. Still plenty of time. Pain away clock, 55 seconds if they're good enough. Long to the outer side. Mark almost taken by Talia. Crouch has been outstanding in close. Gave it off to Ellis Shulman. He kicked it to Brown. Brown now on his right leg around his body. Coming up with it is Matty Wright or Bungerhurn. Matty Wright's got it. Can he keep it in? He can to Ellis Shulman. Look away to Crouch. He got rock and roll. They're still there. Taylor Walker with 3 goals. Empties back. Still plenty of time. 30 seconds. Come on, get the damn thing forward. Laird now. He can go to Henderson. Now he'll go back and he's going to milk down the clock. So the margin will be 29 points at 3/4 time. Lever's got it. 20 seconds left. Pain away clock. Wills bring it back to 3/4 time.
Lever, short little ball. Dangerous ball. Oh, gee, strength from Kennedy. Bumped about 3. Hill. Chips it out now towards Shuey. They've got the head of the square. Oh, they won't hold the ball. Umpire waiting back there. Comes out towards Nat
1 second.
The sex siren sounds. Kick towards goal. What a quarter footy. Rained goals again. And at 3/4 time, the deficit for Adelaide is 29. West Coast Eagles 15-10-100. Crows 11-5.
Well, look, they have just... It's exciting, isn't it? Adelaide have looked like they were hanging on by a thread there. The game was nearly away from it. Looked like it could be a big margin. They just somehow found a way. They got some ball out of the middle. They got some goals. They got a bit of confidence back, and they just found themselves look, in their wildest dreams, they need everything to go right for them to win, but they are in with a chance. It's under 5 goals. If they can somehow find a way to get the first couple, you never know. But look, full credit to them, the way they've hung in there. It's been against a really good side playing really good footy, and it's just they're teetering on the edge at the moment.
Major goal scorers for Adelaide. Walker has 3. Cameron has kicked a couple of goals, and for the West Coast Eagles, 3 to Gaffey's been a star, a couple to Yo, and also 2 to Darling. We'll take a break. It's still game on. Can Adelaide really charge home in the last quarter? They need to kick at least 6 or 7 goals. They trail by 29 points. 15-10-100 Eagles. The Crows 11-5-71.
This is 5AA football. Thanks to Agostino Mitsubishi. Best on ground for your new Mitsubishi. Serving Adelaide for over 25 years.
Stephen Rowe and Mark Bickley, the 5AA Sports Show.
Crows interim coach Scott Camporelli. Everyone talks about the players' welfare, but coaches are flesh and blood as well. I know some people dispute that at times, but how are you all holding up?
We spend probably more time together with Phil than perhaps the players do. He's had a massive impact on all the coaches here, so it's been a really difficult time.
Rowie and Bix, weekday afternoons from 3, 13.95, Adelaide's 5AA.
Things are getting a bit too hard for Mum now. She won't admit it, of course. We try really hard to be there and help out, but we can't be there all the time. She wants to be at home, and we want to make sure she can stay where she wants for as long as possible.
Whether it's in your own home, retirement living or residential care, the skilled and caring staff at Rest Haven offer a range of options and support services. For lots of helpful information, go to resthaven.asn.au.
When the sub comes on the ground, you know they're going to make an impact. Just like when you get a sub from Subway. Quality and a big burst of delicious. Go the Subway sub. Subway, eat fresh.
Hello, my loyal subjects. There are some pros and cons to becoming a senior. For instance, we've had to sew Velcro strips into Philip's riding pants to keep him upright on the horse. Oh dear. But on the bright side, we can enjoy the seniors menu at the Windsor Hotel. Just $11.50, which includes the Windsor's splendid salad and veg bar. Visit the Windsor Hotel for lunch or dinner every day. North East Road, Windsor Gardens.
Booze Brothers. Beat the others cold.
Some brothers are famous for having famous sisters. We're famous for great booze prices, like Heineken Stubbies, just $14.99 a six-pack or $49.99 a carton. Or try Four Sisters Sauvignon Blanc, just 2 for $20. Black Douglas Scotch Whisky, only $29.99 each. And Pike Shiraz Tempranillo, just $13.99 each or $12.99 each in any six. Find us at the Mile End Hotel, 30 Henley Beach Road, Mile End.
When the sub comes on the ground, you know they're going to make an impact. Just like when you get a sub from Subway. Quality and a big burst of delicious. Go the Subway sub. Subway, eat fresh.
This is 5AA football. Thanks to Agostino Mitsubishi. Best on ground for your new Mitsubishi. Serving Adelaide for over 25 years.
Douglas balls right goal away here. Can he finish? Oh, Hossie kid, terrific kick right.
They just didn't respond quickly enough, Adelaide. And there was, like you said, a little gaggle of Eagles just in the middle of the 50-metre area.
A gaggle?
I don't know.
Come on, boys, have fight. Crows can win this. They can dead set win it. I know that's being a little bit optimistic, but they can dead set win it. Here's a go. And he left Charlie Cameron. Can he handle over to Matty Wright? Matty Wright can give it off down to 9. He's gone! Niner, here come the Crows! Here's a go. The three-quarter tour.
29 points of margin, 100 play 71. Adelaide certainly hanging in there. Let's find out what happened at third quarter. Here's Mark Bickley.
Well, just once again, the clearances went in West Coast favour, particularly out of the middle again. But look, I thought during that middle part of the quarter, the ability of Adelaide just to find a way, they were even, excuse me,
you're right.
You get a bit of a bad throat.
Hey,
just,
you're right.
I just had the frog in my throat.
That's your third muffin.
Oh, please.
It's the biggest muffin I've ever seen anyone eat.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, excuse me. Look, a couple of times they had players that were smaller, like Wright was able to get on the end of a goal after winning a ball in the air. Charlie Cameron did the same. So they've had that fight all night, but it's just been the ability to sustain it. And unfortunately, when West Coast have gone forward, they've looked like they've had a bit better system. They've looked like they've had players that are loose, and then when they're kicking it, they've got time and space, and they've been able to deliver it a bit more. Adelaide, look, they're just a couple of exciting times when Dangerfield runs out of the middle in the centre square. They look really dangerous, but other than that, they've just had to really scrap and scrape.
Need the first goal, Bix. Need the first.
First two, I'd say.
Yep.
I reckon they've got to do something with Gaff. D-Mac will probably go to him. He's had 10 inside 50s and 26 possessions, 3 goals. Probably the best player. Here we go. Start for Agostino Mitsubishi. Margin 29. Crows need the first 2 goals. Nat Nui again to Shuey. Outstanding to Prittis. He kicks around his body. Hardigan went to ground. Well done, Selwood. Gave the ball on the old 2 up to Cripps. He kicks the ball forward. It's going to rubble out of ground. No, it didn't. Hill somehow kept it in. Got boot to ball. It's almost gone through for a goal. Hardigan handles over top to B. Smith. I've liked his game. Shocking kick, but it's bouncing and wobbling outside 50. 4 Eagles there. Could have all raffled it. Ellis did. Gave it to Maston. He's been outstanding. Long inside 50. Fish needed. Hardigan. Fist. Lever. Out the back. Yo, goal. Yo, goal. Yo, goal. No, goal. Wow. Ouch. 35 points on the outdoor furniture specialist scoreboard made. Something out of nothing.
Yeah, well, the Brooksy's Good Guy tweet, we've had some help from the crafty pug, and he told me that it's a convocation of Eagles, and that time when when Brodie Smith cleared the area, he kicked it to a convocation of Eagles. There was 4 of them, and it came back in with a bit of interest, and it went up. Jake Lever, unfortunately, went for the giant spoil. He didn't quite get a fist on it, and it dribbled to the back of the pack, and Yo, who's been a good player all night, just kicked it, one of those little dribble kicks off the outside of the boot, was able to bend it back, and it just dribbled over the line.
Come on, lads.
That one really hurt. Prittis again. Oh, gee, the handball is good. He's as good as Pendlebury like that. Gives up to Shuey. Shuey runs to 50. Game number 100. Thank you very much. That's 2 in 2 minutes. And you think, Mark, that is game, set, match. 112 to 71. Eagles have upped the ante, and you won't see a better goal than that. Prittis to Shuey, goal.
Well, how many goals out of the centre square have they kicked?
Yeah, lots. And then we talked about Shuey at the start of the game. You asked me 100 games, what type of player is he? And that's the picture I had in my head. It's him winning possession of the ball. He's a goal-kicking midfielder. He breaks from the centre square. He carried it to the 50 and then kicked the goal. But this player in the middle of the ground, Nick Naitanui, he is some type of player, and he is very difficult to stop. He's so tall. He's so athletic. Sam Jacobs is a good ruckman, but when this guy jumps, he's putting it where they want it to at the moment.
Hard to stop. They lead by 41. Naitanui can just jump so high. Poor old Jacobs can't do a thing. Naitanui got it back. Paddy fumbled. Another inside 50. They've had 4 of them this quarter already for 2 goals. It bounces and wobbles. Smith's got it. Now goes back into the corridor. Shocking kick. Naitanui's got it. Oh, that was a terrible kick, Smithy. Here's the big turnover to Bunga Hurd. Bunga goes! Thank goodness, margin 42 on the outdoor furniture specialist scoreboard. How have their starts to the quarters been this month? Hey?
They come out firing, and they've won it out of the middle the first 3, and they've had all the play.
You'd swear that end's got a howling gale behind it, but it hasn't. There's no breeze at all. The flags have been limp all night. Dangerfield, that's a nice mark. Tony Marks, Adelaide fresh. Just go short. Crows had their moment in the third quarter and looked like they'd really worked their way back in the game, but...
Well, 28 goals, 20 of them have been towards that end.
2 quick goals to the Eagles. They just appear to be able to up the pressure when they need to. They sensed Adelaide were coming. Jakey Levy's been good. Been really good tonight. Crouch has been good as well. So a couple of youngsters, and even Riley Knight on debut. Little short ball. Look for Laird. And the mark's been taken by Yo. This lad is going to be a real star of the game. Came from Brisbane back to his hometown. Wobbles it back towards Sheed, and the kick landed between 5 Crows. It was pinpoint accuracy, and Sheed can go back and have a shot from 50.
Yeah, and look, they've taken many more marks than Adelaide inside their forward 50. Their kicking has been a bit more accurate, but it was just Lever again, the young inexperienced player. He coming out of defence just went for too much with the kick. It was intercepted, and then they square the ball up and having a shot on goal.
Dom Sheed, one of the younger players in the Eagles lineup. The number 4 jumper, Daniel Key, used to wear that. He tries to kick a long goal, lands on the line, through. Jacobs again, just caught beyond the line. And the Eagles get 3 in 4 minutes on the paint-away clock. And they extend their lead, Bix 18-11 to 11-5.
Yeah, look, it's going to be really interesting now. Adelaide have got to find some pluck and some gumption and fight and just make sure that this just doesn't get away from them now. So just see the leaders there. They've just sent, I saw Scott Thompson and Patrick Dangerfield. They've just pushed Charlie Cameron to the back of the square. Taylor Walker in amongst the centre square as well. So he's got up there and talked to those players. They've got to respond, because if they don't soon, this could get out of hand. So they need to just slow the game down and possess the footy.
Lunch 1 for 95. Warner 52, 6 fours and 1 6. Smith not out 25 again. Naitanui outstanding. To Selwood, to half back to Rosie. Comes out this near side wing. Big fly by Smith. Fish through the ball over the top there of Hutchings, who was their Subway sub. Boundary throw in centre wing, grandstand side. 18 goals, 11. 119 to 11-5, 71, as we said, 48 points to margin. Crows have got to fight this out. They will, make no mistake. The work Jacobs gave it off to the running Paddy Dangerfield. Smothered off the boot, crouched to Selwood. And has that gone out of bounds on the full? I reckon it has.
Yep.
And the relieving kick will go to LaCroix.
Been good LaCroix. They've had a lot of good players, Eagles. Much improved side goes back 40 metres to McGovern to Gaff. As we said, he's got a big engine. He runs from the first bounce to the last bounce. Spots Rosa. Back to Gaff again. He can't keep up with him. That's the problem. Out to Shepherd. Soups it really wide now to Wellingham. Little short ball back to Hearn. So they share it around until they get the free man. Bunga Hearn.
What's their efficiency by foot, Bix?
Yeah, just let's have a look here. They're going at 63%.
Well, let's make it in 64. Darling took a nice mark in towards Hill. Wanted the free kick. Bill's over the back. Gaff's going to go hard after he did. Off the ground, Lacroix. And Lever takes a nice defensive mark right in the last line. He's been a revelation for Adelaide tonight. Young 19-year-old star in the making.
The Outdoor Furniture Specialist scoreboard margin 48 points. 7 minutes gone here in the last quarter. No breeze to speak of. Tribute game for Phil Walsh for both these clubs. So long kick by Smith, the outer side. Playing from behind is Henderson. Jenkins went with one, then again. But good pace on his left leg through the corridor. Oh, he's got some tricks. Here's the turnover, but back in the middle of Selwood. He had to go on his right. Bix has rubbed his forehead, comes out this near side. Half-forward flank. Sinclair can go over the top with a long loopy handle. He does now. Hutchins has now got it into the pocket. Huge turnover. Handballed now. Gave it off to Maston. Got it from Seed. Another goal. Margin now out to 54 points on the Outdoor Furniture Specialist scoreboard. Started with a turnover in the middle of the ground. Jenkins on the left leg. And this side will hurt you. They will really hurt you with their spread, speed and foot skills.
We've called it a few times today where Adelaide have just gone for too much. And look, I'm a big Josh Jenkins fan, but when you're running and all of a sudden you pirouette and try and kick a little dinky little left foot kick, it brings you undone, and you turn it over in the middle of the ground and just goes straight back with interest. And unfortunately, it did that time there. And we're getting into some
12
serious territory now. They don't want to finish like this.
Bix 12 individual goal scorers for the West Coast Eagles. So they're sharing the load, sharing the wealth. 125 to 71. Adelaide look like they run out of gas. Almost a free kick will be to the Eagles. Selwood to Gaff again. He runs around the back a lot, but does it so well. Finds Shuey. He'll be enjoying his 100th game. Gaff plays his 100th next week. Little short ball to Sheed. Missed all comers. Jake has bent down and picked it up. Got it to Henderson, who gave it to Crouch, one of Adelaide's best. Crouch sweeps it out wide, looking for Dangerfield. Rose at Dangerfield. Neither can get there. D-Max being quiet. With him is Prentice out of bounds. It goes out of side.
Yeah, just looking at some of the numbers, Dangerfield's had 27, Laird and Crouch 23, Smith 18 for the West Coast Eagles, Gaff 29, Maston 28, Shuey 27, Prentice 25, Rosa 25, along with 3 or 4 others, were all over 20 possessions.
9 minutes gone, Payne away clock, out of side, margin 54 West Coast way. Rosa on the left leg, back inside 50. Henderson will have to sit under it, he did. That was a great crumb on the ground by Laird, gave it off to McKay, and he's found Crouch on that outer side right hand half back flank. 19-11 to 11-5, margin 54. Long kick by Crouch to the outer side wing. Big fly from behind Walker. Crumb by Eddie Betts. Gave it to Ellis Shulman. Just shrugs 1, 2, and he went for the third. That is holding the ball, the seed, the quad, the cherry, the nut, the Haggett, the lot. And that was by Prentice, who can do everything, this lad on the outer side wing.
Brownlow medalist last year, 26 possessions tonight. You look through their list, they've just had so much footy. So he said they like to share it around. A long kick, Crouch has said. He said, so that's a great mark.
Right,
that one down there, Bix, just a finger tipper. Cricket sort of mark. He's been good tonight. Kicks back towards the wing. Prentice spoils from behind. Comes back towards his teammate, back to Prentice. Another handball out wide to Gaff. God, we've called his name a few times tonight. To Sheed, to Shepherd. Shepherd runs the boundary. Cuts back in board, that's still running hard. A very fit side of the Eagles. Brodie Smith had a little fumble. Needed to take it. Oh, players lining up here. Hill looks for the goals. And he couldn't look at Lacroix. And he's missed from 20 metres out. And Josh Hill can make some bad mistakes at time. None worse than that one. 126 to 71.
There, plays on Smith to Laird, back to Laird on the old 1-2 from Henderson, now goes long, finds Dangerfield, he gave it to the outside to Douglas, was busy in the first half to Crouch, now goes short, looking there for Walker, 3 goals, long now with the right leg inside 50, going out and taking the mark is Riley Knight. Now he can go back and kick this and they need it, they trail by 55 points.
Been good, Bix.
Oh, he has been a really good debut, and that one there, he just worked his butt off, and that's what he's known for, and he just got a metre or two on his player, his direct opponent. He just ran, and Walker gave him a good kick, and he ended up taking uncontested marks.
Good efficiency too.
Yeah, this will be his 12th disposal, 6 contested possessions.
3 goals to Walker, 2 to Cameron, 1 to Jenkins, Betts, Lynch and Knights. He'd love 2. He loved it right off the boot. He signalled, I like it a lot. He's got his second. The margin's been cut to 49. Great goal by the young man in Riley Knight. I can report there's been a wicket. Davey Warner, LBW for 52. So Australia 2 for 97. And
disposed, couple of goals. The longer the game, he's been involved. Third quarter, already got involved. Tackled. He's won contested footy. He's got some ball like that one on the outside where he's ran really hard and received some passes. So look, that's a great start for him, and it's good for Adelaide because they don't have a whole lot of that style of player, that outside running type. And he'll certainly, if he continues to improve, be a great asset.
Kangaroos by 41 points over Geelong. Nat Nui forces it forward. Tarley's done a great job on Kennedy tonight. They've had 31 scoring shots. Kennedy's only kicked 1 goal, 2. Selwood now. Back to Prittis. She just clocks him up, doesn't he?
His vision.
He finds his teammate in Cripps. So Cripps a long way from home. They don't mind going the long bomb. Darling's been quieter in the second half. There's Kennedy. Everyone else was sent flying. And Kennedy can go back and kick his second goal. Reasonably tight angle, but you back him from here, the big centre half forward.
He was like the 9-pin.
Goes around and kicks a goal. Easy as you like shelling peas. They bring up their 20th goal. They're a goal-scoring machine, the Eagles. 2012, 132 to 12-5. 77. That's a hefty margin.
I said he was like a 9-pin because it was a big pack, and I think it was Ricky Henderson came in to jump, and as he went to jump, he slipped and he took out the rest of the pack and just left one player standing. It was Josh Kennedy, and he marked unopposed, and then he went back. Didn't really take much time. He took the opportunity because it was a pretty tight angle just to run around and snap it on his right. The goal umpire hardly moved, went straight over his head, and that's his second goal. Had 4 shots, 2 goal 2, like you said. In a team like the West Coast, when they kick 20, the leader of the Coleman, just to keep them to 2 is a pretty good job by Daniel Taylor.
I think the bad news for the Crows, don't they play the West Coast again? I'm not too sure. Jenkins now, he won the toss, but Shuey's got it, goes forward, Henderson can't. Off the chest there of Harding, and he hasn't done a lot wrong. Sinclair to Darling, can kick it over the top, or kick a goal, or Cripps will soccer it. Oh boy, margin now 60 points on the outdoor furniture specialist scoreboard. I reckon if they've kicked 21 goals, 11 of them have come from the centre square, Big. A minimum.
Well,
Nick Nat Nui.
I'll tell you what, remember there was that story that Joe Montana, when the San Francisco 49ers won the Super Bowl, he bought all his linebackers a Ferrari because they protected him all year. Well, if I was a midfielder for the West Coast Eagles, I reckon I'd be looking after my big friend Nick Nat Nui because he is putting it on a platter. That time there it was Shuey. He jumped and just dropped it just deftly to his left. Shuey was at full tilt, ran through there, did not have to break stride, or straight into his breadbasket, and they were away.
Hey, what round is this, 15?
Yep.
Well, they play on round 22.
Yeah, it's one of the quirkiness of the draw. They've more chance at home, though. Prittis again. Got to the gaff. We've called that about 20 times tonight. Kicks out towards the boundary, goes to touch. Dean Mack couldn't keep it in. 21-12 to 12-5. And the Kangaroos beating Geelong by 41 points.
The centre square, it's one of the few scenarios where you can't flood it, you can't crowd it because of the rules. You can only have 4v4, and that's been such an advantage with Nat Nui in there tonight.
Well, Nat Nui can jump 7 stories. He's unstoppable. Round the body goes Dangerfield back towards the wing. Pack set themselves. Eagles always appear to have the numbers. They form a wall. Prittis again. Having a big last quarter. Finds his teammate in Shuey. Runs hard as Yo. Couldn't take the ball with him. Hella Sholman has failed to make an impact since coming on. Hurry kick from Nat Nui towards Kennedy. Gee, meets it well. He's got support too in Selwood. Ducked his head. Nat Nui on the end of it again. Can go to Prittis. Shifted it back out towards Prittis. Sits on top of him. He should go holding the ball. About 8 blokes jumped on him. And a bounce down, true centre-half forward for the Eagles.
Yeah, still plenty of time left in this quarter. Margin out to 61 points. 5 double AFL footy for Agostino Mitsubishi. 2 for 94 Australia. So Ellis Yeoman does the ruck work. He actually beat Nat Nui. Get him in the ruck more often. Hill can't get it. Prentice did. Kicks the ball forward. It's West Coast by 61. Smith's been good. Tackled from behind by Sinclair. And the umpire says that was over the shoulder. And he's just evening it up, number 6. He's had an absolute stinker. But I'll be told again on Monday to shut the hell up with the umpires. Long by Smith to the outer side wing. Oh, what a great little take by Gaff. If he's not best on ground, I'll eat my hat. Gave it to Rosa, back to Gaff. Gaff now goes forward. Mark's been taken almost by Darling. Hotley's hammer there was Lever, and it's out of bounds between wing and half forward. On the outer side, margin 61, crowd 38,133. 5 double AFL for Agostino Mitsubishi.
No, number 9's been pretty handy. Nick Nat-Nui, Rowie, in terms of best on ground honours, I would think.
They've had good players all around the ground. As we said, they just share it so beautifully. Laird started well, hasn't had much of an impact since quarter time, but
3 goals and 11 inside 50s isn't bad.
Yep, they've had plenty of good players.
Prentice up to 31 possessions, Gaff 33.
Just interesting, just watching on the replay that when the ball went out last time and when Darling dropped the mark, he thumped it and it went into the crowd and smacked someone right in the face.
Oh, hurry kick came out from Knight. Prentice again for their 14th goal kick of the night. Won't be. And even Nat Nui couldn't keep that ball in. Out of bounds, right full forward pocket. Paint away clock says 18 minutes. Adelaide heading for one of their biggest defeats for, they don't often get slaughtered, the Crows.
This is a premiership contender, but West Coast.
10 goals, won the margin. Oh, yeah, if they get top 4 in a couple of games at home, Rowie, they might actually pay the Dockers. Wouldn't that be interesting? Thompson now. He tried to burrow his way, bullock his way. I think he's gone. Umpire, you just know.
Where's the prior opportunity?
The performers, the umpires, you'd see that. You could sense it, you could smell it from here. And it's another kick on goal from about 25 out with Selwood.
You know what? If you get it off Ruckman's hand and you have no prior opportunity, it's not holding the ball, number 6.
Remember in the first quarter, they didn't pay one.
The bloody rule book. Honestly.
You're listening, Bix? None. None. Now they're paying them all.
Flabbergasted is what I am.
Selwood for a second goal. No.
There you go.
Disappointing for Scotty Selwood. And the margin goes up by that 1 point. 62 points of margin on the outdoor furniture specialist scoreboard.
Come on, finish off strongly, Crows. They will. Got big hearts. Margin 62. Smith straight up the middle of the ground. Walker flew. Ellis Yeoman read that brilliantly off hands. Goes long to Eddie Betts. He licked his little lips like a little mouse. Now it's outside 50. He's on his left leg.
He's got the top.
The ball into the goal square. He's gone the left foot. Rubbing kick. Get it. Eddie Betts, he meant that. He did a rubber scrubber little kick, and I reckon it's gone through. Please let it go through. Don't signal square. Don't square it. Don't square
come
it.
on, umpire.
Where's the theatre? Eddie Betts, he knew he had to get some distance on that ball.
The goal umpire's called it a goal.
Well, it's got to be a goal. But Eddie Betts, you know those sort of rolling kicks.
Definitely a goal.
It's a goal. Eddie Betts
it's a foot over.
A Phil Hoffman travel goal of the day. No theatre required. Eddie Betts is a football genius.
Well, it's fault your call. It was a beautiful call. They went to wait for the... It's a goal now.
Hooray!
Well, what about that? That reminded me of the one that he kicked at Adelaide Oval when he had to kick that left foot torpedo. Well, that was exactly the same. He looked up. There was no one in front of him. He was outside the 50-metre line.
It wobbled. It bounced.
And he just thought, I've got to kick this left foot. I'm 55 metres out. I'm going for the torp. And he didn't hit it right. And he hit it right in the belly of the ball. And
he wanted it to tumble to get distance. He meant that.
You reckon?
He dead set meant it.
I'm not sure he did, but whatever happened.
Okay.
He got it there, and it's a great goal for Eddie Betts.
Eddie's got a couple. Walker's got 3. Charlie Cameron a couple, but West Coast Eagles, what is that? 34 scoring shots to 18. That in itself.
Too good.
And inside 50s, I'd hazard a guess, they are probably doubled Adelaide. Up they go again.
Yes.
Here comes Dangerfield, can run towards 50. This would be a nice goal. He's a long way from home. Jenkins should take the mark and does. It's a one-hander. And that's a Tony and Mark's Adelaide fresh. Josh Jenkins, good first quarter. hasn't had a good service since the big fella go back and kick a goal.
It's turned into basketball now.
Well, and there's a bit of non-contact stuff going on. Now, whoever wins it out of the middle is just going down and scoring. Interestingly, generally he runs around on the left foot, but it looks like he's going for a drop punt here, which is unusual because on the wrong side for a right footer.
Big Joshy Jenkins, tough angle. Oh, umpire made a lot of ground very quickly. A minor score, Adelaide 13-6, 85. They've actually scored quite well against the Eagles, Bix. Unfortunately, they've conceded 21 goals.
Yeah, you're right. It's just they haven't been able to restrict the scoring of the opposition, which is the big problem.
55 points to margin. Outdoor furniture specialist scoreboard. 7.5 minutes of actual time left. Bunga Hearn goes long to the outer side. Playing in front was Douglas. Got his head ripped off. Ball bobbles around on the outer side. Gaff gets another possession. He'll get my 3 votes. Ball goes down and up. Laird can't get it. Hamble over top to Hill. Looking Hamble inside to Prentice. He takes and breaks. Can give it off to Nat Nui. They're like a wave. It's like Scarborough Beach. Now there's a turnover. Back to Prentice. Prentice pulls the kick. Goes forward. Coming off his man was Talia. Great decision. Ball didn't travel far enough. Kennedy's like a big bull and an ox all at the same time. Going to Sinclair. He's kicked a point.
14th goal scorer.
This is dead set turned into basketball. This goes one end to the other. 22 minutes gone. And that margin is 62.
They could have had 15 goal scorers the last couple of minutes. Easy turnover here again. Sheed's got one this quarter. He lines them up. Tried to work its way back. There's no fear in that goal. Umpire didn't move. It's a minor score. In fact, he says that it hit the post. So they are peppering the goals. And I reckon their coach will be sitting back pretty happy with proceedings. 21-16 to 13-6. Dying stages, 23 gone, paint away clock.
Yeah, 57 points to the margin. We'll get the cricket score again very shortly.
2 for 97.
2 for 97. Is that lunch long up to the middle of the ground? Nat Nui with another fist. Douglas has got it. Gave it to Paddy. Tried his little heart out. Hambles over the top to Laird. He always goes hard to D-Mac. D-Mac long to the outer side wing. Walker sits under it. Got 3 goals. But Govan has been outstanding. It's gone out of bounds.
I've excited Taylor Walker since pretty well quarter time. When I say the end's near, it's not. There's actually 6.5 minutes left of real time, Bix.
They've had 410 disposals to Adelaide's 303. They've had 68 inside 50s to 34.
Nat Nui to Shuey, who enjoyed his 100th game. He's been good. And Dangerfield, as always, just working so hard. Boys' work rate's good, Dangerfield.
Well, Adelaide have been pretty efficient. When you think about it, they've had 19 scores from 34 inside 50s. That's actually very good.
Well, they've had the most open forward line I think I've ever seen it from. Here's a chance for Douglas. Just standing start up towards Walker. Couldn't get near it in the end. McGovern had a rare fumble. The back line's still good. Master goes over top to Yo. Runs the centre half back. He's got players everywhere. So Shepherd or Cripps brings it out wide. Now they can advance it forward. What's the kick like? Is it good? It is. And the big man, Sinclair, takes a nice mark. That came from Cripps. Now they go short towards Hill. He's a player that's a little bit lukewarm at times, Josh Hill. Needs to do more. 55 out from goal. But on his day, a very elusive forward. He goes back, pedals, and finds Shepherd. They're queuing up now. It's like a training drill, Bix. I mean, you get a kick still if you played there at the moment. So Shuey gets around 1, runs to 50, gets around 2. Now goes by hand to his teammate, and they got Hill all on his own. Rosa found him. And this time Josh Hill said, put the hand up and said, I'm going to have a shot for goal. 141 to 84. That's a cricket score.
That's West Coast Eagles' 17th mark inside 50. They've been able to find spare players in there all night.
Not often Adelaide concede 21 or 22 goals. They've tried hard, but they've met a class outfit tonight. Josh Hill. Bit of icing on the cake. Yes, sirree! Joshy Hill gets his second goal. It's officially party time. 22-15 to 13-6. That's comprehensive in any man's language.
Yeah, and look, it was... they just have all the answers. Every time Adelaide try to come out, their pressure's good. When they do win the ball back, they've got composure, they've got numbers, they're able to spot players up. Adelaide just missed a couple of tackles there. Shuey took 2 blokes on, just was able to break the tackle, and then handballed it out and just found Josh Hu in space, and he actually went back and kicked a really nice goal from 45 metres.
Showdown next week, Rowie. It's, anything can happen in those games.
63 points the margin here for the outdoor furniture specialist scoreboard, and the answer there is absolutely spot on. Nat Nui gave it to Thompson. Another win from the centre square to West Coast. They are an awesome football team. Handball on the up was chopped off by Jacobs to Dangerfield. Stepped around his mark with a balk. Big D Jarman. Balk goes forward and Eddie Betts' his mark inside 50. It really has been bruise-free, pressure-free footy this last quarter. And absolutely one up and down.
Look, I'm not sure about bruise-free. They're cracking in, but they're just been, both teams have just, it's all out attack both ways.
So Eddie Betts from about 45 metres, he's missed another one. He could have kicked 5 today. He's missed another one, and it slid through, and the margin is 62 points on the outdoor furniture specialist score, but there's still a couple of minutes of play left here in the last.
How good was Dangerfield, though? He got the handball from Jacobs. He ran, he bounced, he sold an unbelievable balk to Nat Nui and then laced out Eddie Betts.
He was like a Ferrari in 6th gear there, Bix. He really just cruised along, didn't he? They couldn't get near him. Gee, Nat Nui's a star. They got a few stars now. The kick out towards Sheed, but we cut him. Hardigan. Hardigan called his name all night. Big man goes down. He's turned it over to Cripps, to Hill. Hill fresh off a goal a moment ago. It's a shocking kick. Oh, he had 4 on his own. Leclerc couldn't believe it. Hill had no vision at all. He had the blinkers on like a horse in race 7 at Morphettville. Here's Henderson. Back towards Riley Knight. Here's the story. He's played well, the young man. Knight, Lever, Kraut's all been good, Bix.
Yeah, look, and still running really hard as well, finding possessions.
So Long up to the half-forward flank. Jenkins, well, he flew from behind, but Schofield stayed down and took an Adelaide Fresh Tony and Mark's mark of the day. So that margin is 62 points. West Coast Eagles way. 5 AFL for Agostino Mitsubishi. Get those texts and emails and phone calls coming through. 8223 0000. We'll take your calls immediately after the game. Paid tribute to Phil Walsh. We're super emotional when this siren goes in about 2.5 minutes. Henderson with the mark on the outer side wing.
Been solid as well first game back, Henderson.
He has been. Gave the ball up to Brown. Hard to be critical of this game. I know they've lost by 10. But, gee, they're going to be emotional when this siren goes. Up goes Jenkins, and that's a great mark in the right-hand forward pocket. Give that an Adelaide Fresh Tony Marks. Mark of the day, JJ was shot on goal from about 30 metres.
Yeah, look, he, at different stages tonight, looked really good, Jenkins, but other times he just hasn't been able to make the contest required. Talked about that left foot kick back through the middle that cost him a goal, but certainly been solid, and I reckon his body of work over the last 4 or 5 weeks has been much more consistent. He'd like to finish off here with a goal.
He's got a 1 goal too, so in he comes on his right leg, kicks it beautifully off the boot, and I reckon he has snuck it through. He has. He's got his second. We'll give that a Phil Walsh travel goal of the day, and the margin's been cut, Vix, to 56 points.
Now, look, he's battled against extra numbers. West Coast have always had the answers down there. Remember, he did handball one to Taylor Walker in the goal square after some good work, so look, he's had a pretty serviceable night for the big fella.
So winners today, Kangaroos by 41 points, the Bulldogs by 22, Essendon by 9. And still the jury's out on this game. 2 minutes to go. High scoring affair really is. 147 plays 91. Normally you get 91 points, Bix. You probably win most games.
Well, particularly when you do it in the efficient fashion that they have, from 37 inside 50s, that's a fantastic result. But unfortunately, the opposition have had 70 inside 50s, which is prolific.
Well, the Eagles are a very settled side. Apart from their 2 key backmen injured before round 1, or with round 1, they haven't had too many injuries. They got many options through the midfield. Dangerfield again, just loved his game. Great Thompson tried to find a target, couldn't. Kennedy set on the footy. Hutchings to Shuey to Marston, back to Hutchings. So once again, they get multiple disposals. Hearn, big bunger Hearn, marks at the half-back flank. There's 1:38 left on the clock. 56 points the margin. Selwood again. Finds Schofield, kicks up to Darling. Oh, it's a strong mark. Boy, that's a strong mark.
Run out, he hit that.
Plays on quickly. to Gaff. Gaff says, I want another kick. So we'll go towards Kennedy. Talia Kennedy, the human glove, came from behind. A couple stood up on their feet. Cripps short ball. Oh, they're going to raffle it again. Hill, that's better. Got it to Lacroix. Lacroix tried the inside-out torp, and it went out of bounds on the full. So that was a party trick which didn't work.
Terrible. Henderson to Laird to Lever, margin 56 points. He is the candy man. He loves that ball. Gave it to Paddy Dangerfield.
This will be his 34th disposal for Dangerfield. 13 clearances. He has been
awesome.
An absolute colossus.
And he's got about 3 stitches in that bottom lip, and I think he's lost his big tooth. So the ball to the outer side, turnover. Wellingham slides it forward. Cripps' mark and handball off to the running Sheed. Left leg goes into the pocket. Great ball from behind Lacroix. Is the free kick going to go to Brown, or is that Harnigan? I reckon it was Harnigan in the pocket. He chips the ball short to D-Mac, to Paddy. Look away handball to Laird. Those two are going to get in the best. Back now to Crouch. He's probably the next one. Been outstanding. Long loopy handball back to Laird. G. Jacobs got rock and roll. Cripps has got it. He handballs back to Maston. Maston does a pirouette. Now with the right leg sees Gaff. Gaff's marked the ball outside 50. This will be his 12th inside 50 if he wants to kick it. Shocking handball. Cameron had to come through. Bunga Hearn's got it. The margin's still 56 points. Mark being taken by Hill in the pocket. There it is. Siren goes. You probably have a flying shot for goal, but they've been too big, too strong, too good. An emotional game. Every single Crow player down on their haunches.
Gone, aren't they?
Bent over. They're absolutely gone. If you could take a snapshot of this, all with their hands in their heads, down on their haunches. I've never seen that. Hill goes long forward for goal, marked on the goal line. That's it. 22 goals 15 to 14 goals 7. Paddy D's emotional. He's been embraced by a number of the players. And we're going to have a tribute to Phil Walsh immediately after this game.
What is good, Robbie? You're right. There's a wonderful spirit, and they all know the significance of tonight's game. Phil Walsh, 5 years of the West Coast Eagles, 11 years at Port Adelaide, and just started a new career with Adelaide Crows. And all the energy that would have been spent during the week, all the pent-up energy, Adelaide in the end ran out of petrol. The Eagles are strong all night. And that's a pretty big margin, 56 points the final wash-up. They're all milling around. I'm sure there's going to be another tribute, Bix, and it's just good to see the spirit of AFL footy. You fight against each other for 2 hours, and you come in, you hug each other, shake hands, and realise it's just a game. That's all it is. It's a game of football.
It was a really poignant point you noted, Rowie. When the siren went, the players and the Adelaide players in particular just slumped.
Every one of them.
They slumped. They were absolutely
every one of them.
Totally spent. They had nothing in the tank. A couple of them tried. There's a sign on the scoreboard that says R.I.P. Walshy in the Crows colours, and everyone's standing to applaud that.
The umpires standing down in the forward pocket altogether, just standing in the line, paying their respect. Now the players are going out towards the centre circle here, Bix.
Yep.
They might do the arm in arm again, and just great to see they're milling around each other, mingling. And you're right, every Crow is slumped to his knees, and I think even the Eagles are thinking, well, you know, we've won the game, but more significant things have happened in the past 9 or 10 days. So a hush is around Domain Stadium now as the players go to the circle. They'll lock arms, join arms, congratulating each other.
Full house here, 35,000, all standing as one. They've turned some of the lights off, and the players are going to...
Coaches making their way out there now. Yeah. Adam Simpson, Scott Camporeale.
It's just a great sight to see everybody. I mean, you've never seen this before until the last week or so in AFL footy, and they're going to just stand there and have their minute's silence. woman, child stood up, paid their respects. The players in the centre of the ground, umpires down in the pocket, coaching staff on the boundary, and everyone from both teams, Bix, going to shake hands. And it's a sport, and that's all it is. It's a sport. Far bigger things in life than just a game of footy, but great to see the way they've all handled it.
Gee, there's some tears out there. Paddy, they're streaming down his face.
Sam Jacobs.
Ricky Hennessy.
Really struggling.
Joshy Jenkins. This is just emotional to see. Just raw emotion.
Daniel Talia very upset. I think it's all hitting home now that it's the first game without their coach.
Thank
or their
you
old coach.
to the Perth fans.
That's a roar.
That is just awesome.
West Coast Eagle players standing there and applauding.
And make no mistake, they're upset as well. John Worsfold has come out and hugged every single player in his Crows gear. Oh, you've got to love footy. Gee, tragedy.
It was amazing. And
gee, there's some emotion. Have a look at Johnny Worsfold going out in front of every single player, giving Nat Nui the biggest hug. He was very close to Phil Walsh.
Josh
as
Jenkins,
all of those West Coast players were.
bawling his eyes out, and West Coast Eagles players still standing there. And they've applauded the Crows, and as I said, the first game of footy they played without their coach. And you asked about
those players.
Rory, you asked if winning or losing mattered. No, it doesn't. There's your answer. It does not matter.
And all the players' wives and girlfriends and family members that have come out and support. That's going to be an emotional group in that change room.
This is scenes you'll never see again tonight.
What about the reception from the crowd? It's outstanding.
West Coast Eagles fans, who can be pretty harsh, Mix, as you know, have stood up as one, and when the Crows went down the race, they've all applauded.
It's emotional to see that, but I don't want to ever see this again.
No, we don't want to see this again.
Ever see this again.
And the West Coast Eagles players, they just paid their respects beautifully, and the crowd, the loudest roar of the night was when there wasn't a Bix, when the Crows went down the race with the girlfriends, the wives, the support staff, and now they're cheering their own.
They were super professional, West Coast. 22-15, 14-7. Margin there of 56 points. Our match review, thanks to Ryko, 24-7. That was emotional.
Well, it's just been beautifully handballed, Bix. Bix has got a tear in the eye too, and he can't blame anyone for tearing up, because it's just handled so perfectly.
Well, in actual fact, it was the crowd that made that, because they spontaneously stood and applauded. They're now
applauding their own
team, but you're right. They stood and they gave the Adelaide players a standing ovation to go off, and it was you could just see all the emotion was flowing of what was 8 days of, I guess,
grief,
pent up,
all that
grief,
emotion, and frustration, and
they left everything on the track today. As we just see the West Coast Eagles leave the ground.
They're a good side, Bix, too.
They're a very good side, and they played really well tonight. But getting back to Adelaide, you saw that raw emotion, and it was Riley Knight, a young man playing his first game, was unable to contain himself. We talked about Josh Jenkins.
Saucy Jacobs,
Many,
Dangerfield.
They were
all of them.
Very, very emotional.
And none of them would know how to handle that emotion at the end, Bix. None of them would know that.
Robbie,
they're going to be in the rooms now with all their family, all the club, and that's where it's really going to cut loose.
They all slumped to their feet, didn't they, when the siren set? They slumped to the ground, and the only players are up with when Hill had the kick to try and prevent another score, and then the tears flowed, and I think there's so many tears in the crowd too. But that was as moving a scene
you'll ever see.
When the Crows walked through you'll talk about it during the week on the sports show. It was the loudest roar.
Yeah.
Everybody stood up and applauded, and so respectful, and well done the Western Australian crowd, who was just, as I said, handled superbly. And absolutely superbly.
Of course, all the players, you talked about their partners, their families, mums and dads, all those people made their way out on the oval, and they gave a guard of honour to the players. And as you said, just looking at the mums, brothers and sisters, they were all quite emotional as well. So it would have been.
And they're going to need them.
Well, we might just take a quick break and give us a call, 8223 0000. Mark Bickley, Stephen Rowe, David Wildy. It was just incredibly emotion packed, charged stand in the the full house rode, didn't they? Stood up as one. The kids were there and in silence. Both teams went out the middle. They formed the circle again. The coaches were there. We saw all the rest of the coaching staff just on the boundary line in front of us where the interchange gate, and the umpires also congregated in the right full forward pocket.
Unprecedented.
But the question was posed, does it matter if they win? No, it doesn't. They gave their hearts. There's no petrol left in the tank, was there, Big?
They had nothing.
None.
They were, you're right. And we saw that at the end, emotionally spent, physically spent, and that's why they slumped to the ground. And whilst they've been containing that for most of the week, you just saw at the end they paid their respects in the middle of the ground, and then pretty much from that point on it just all bubbled over.
It's like the balloon being pricked in the last bit of air.
There was a couple of really poignant moments. So I saw Sam Jacobs and Nick Naitanui come together, and they, two combatants all day,
night,
just jumped into each other, and Naitanui had the better of him, but then clearly Sauce was pretty upset. Naitanui came.
No doubt Phil Walsh had an impact on most of those players, but they tried. They were valiant, but outclassed by a really side tonight. And West Coast Eagles, they handled the pressure. Adelaide gave it everything. Kicked 6 out of 7 goals at one stage in the first quarter. Kicked 14. 14 generally wins your game, but not tonight. They went down by almost 10 goals. We'll take a break. 8223 0000. Have your say, and we'll speak to a player shortly, hopefully the presser, but your call's very important. Mark Bickley, David Wildy and Stephen Rowe.
This is 5AA football. Thanks to Agostino Mitsubishi. Best on ground for your new Mitsubishi. Serving Adelaide for over 25 years.
Stephen Rowe and Mark Bickley, the 5AA Sports Show.
The Herald Sun chief footy writer, Mark Robinson. Robbo, thanks for your time. Tommy Hawkins has just signed a big deal with the Cats.
Tommy put pen to paper today. Joe was probably an $800,000 mark. Hawkins is probably a $7 to $750 mark. They're going to have money in their salary cap, and we all know who that money is being directed at.
Stephen Motlop.
Rowe and Bix, weekday afternoons from 3, 1395, Adelaide's 5AA.
Hello, Frank Walker from National Tiles. Our 3 all-new National Tiles Adelaide showrooms and warehouses have only been open since the 1st of June, and already the response has been absolutely amazing. Builders, tilers, architects, interior designers, and people building or renovating their own homes have been overwhelmed by the range, quality and prices of all our National wall and floor tiles. National Tiles is not the biggest tile company in Australia. However, our customers vote us to be the best tile company in Australia, time and time again. So if you're in the trade or building or renovating your own home, come into one of National Tiles' 3 all-new Adelaide showrooms for the very best wall and floor tiles at the guaranteed lowest prices in Australia. Or go to nationaltiles.com.au now. National Tiles, offering Adelaide people a whole new professional wall and floor tile experience.
Lux Bathrooms. You've seen us on House Rules, and there are heaps of reasons for that. When it comes to designing bathrooms, Lux speak the language of ideas. Plus, we have our own house rules. We listen to you, work with your budget, remember your name, provide brilliant trades, and make your experience seamless. For a stunning bathroom within your budget, Lux Bathrooms, on the corner of Stevens Terrace and Paynham Road, St Peters.
Bob, or Poppy Bob to his grandkids, is not a sports legend, but he is a star to his grandkids. So instead of letting osteoarthritis in his shoulder slow him down with chronic pain and restricted movement, he should ask his doctor for a referral to SportsMed SA. They know shoulders, knees and hips. They'll get you back to doing what you love.
Poppy Bob!
Ask your doctor for a referral to SportsMed SA with 7 convenient locations. Visit sportsmed.com.au.
When it comes to your trees, use South Aussie experts. Call Dylan Tempest now from Tempest Arborist Service and book a free quote. Dylan's qualified team at Tempest work on all trees, big or small. Tree removal, pruning and shaping, stump grinding and arborist reports for council approvals. If you live in the west, east, south or hills, call now for all your tree work needs. Call 8351 6610 tempestarboristservice.com.au.
5AA and Brooksy's Good Guys Twitter at 5AAFL. It's your access to the 5AA commentary team on your home of football. $13.95. Adelaide's 5AA. This is 5AA Football. Thanks to Agostino Mitsubishi. Best on ground for your new Mitsubishi. Serving Adelaide for over 25 years.
Yeah, match review thanks to Ryco 24/7. Mark Bickley, David Wilding, Stephen Rowe. West Coast Eagles home by 56 points. They're a genuine contender, I think. They're talking about the top three. Add another one. The Eagles, 37 scoring shots to 21. Had some superb players. 822-300-00. Let's go to Daniel. Hi, Daniel.
Okay, boys. Thanks for the call tonight. I'm really proud of the guys for getting out there and doing what they did tonight. I had absolutely no expectations, and I honestly don't have any for the rest of the season. What they're going through and what they will be continuing to go through, we have really got no grasp on. And for them to go out there and put on that sort of a performance, I'm so proud of them. I'm going to congratulate them on what they've done, regardless of the result. They put in a big effort to go out there on the park and show their respect. You could see the toll that it took on them after the final siren. And, I mean, we've got absolutely no way that we could comprehend that. And to go out there and put it all behind them for those 4 quarters is unbelievable. You've got to be proud of them regardless of the result.
Yeah, look, I agree. I think you did see at the end there what the toll that it took on them. And as we said, they just always, the siren went, they had nothing left. They were on their knees, both literally and metaphorically speaking. They had nothing left to give. And just saw it at the end as they walked off. It all came out, and just all the players. It just was too much for them. And look, that's not a bad thing. And I think it's probably a good thing, the fact that they're able to just let it all come out, because they've probably been bottling it up, trying to be strong as much as they can for the week and preparing for the game and wanting to do their best.
And you can't plan for this, train for this, prepare for this. There's no script for this. They're individuals. They've got to come together as a 22 against a good opposition away from their family, 8 days after one of the most tragic circumstances we're ever likely to see in our lives. We will never probably ever see this again. So you can't judge or be critical. And Daniel, very well put. And I'm a little bit in the same boat. What happens from now on is just about keeping the group together, keeping the players together, getting themselves through, and the family and the club and everybody involved. Results for me are irrelevant. That's why I asked you 100 times before the game. Winning today is nothing. Yeah, right. We saw a group of players as emotional as I've ever seen, and 38,000 football fans here without a dry eye in the house. That said it all. We need not say anything. Daniel, good call.
I feel really privileged. I was there Thursday night to see how the Port Adelaide crowd handled, and how here tonight with the Crows and the West Coast Eagles fans was just beautifully managed. And as I said, there's tears up in the commentary box as well.
Just classy.
Hi, Lindy.
Hello, is that Rowie?
That's David, Rowie
and Bixon and myself, yes, Lindy.
I'd like to talk to Stephen Rowe, because I've been a bit worried about it, because I've been ringing up asking how you've been, but you was on holidays.
I was away, Lindy. All good. With the tragedy back in Adelaide.
Yes, I know, Yeah, and I want to say too, the Crows might have lost the game, but they won in every point of the earth today. They're beautiful people, and I love them to death, and my heart goes out to those boys, and I want to say that all the players, all the supporters on every single level has been wonderful for the Australian football. Nowhere in the world would people act like the way they've been acting the last 2 weeks. I want to just congratulate everybody, and my heart and my thoughts are with all you boys.
No.
Okay, Rowie?
No, good girl,
Thanks, Lindy.
Lindy's a bit emotional there as well. And look, I just want to say, I know we said it at the start, when Adelaide ran onto the ground, they got a standing ovation from the Western Australian supporters here. There's some Crow supporters.
It's the only time you ever see that, isn't it?
It was
only time ever.
And I don't think the players, I'm sure that would have taken them by surprise. It was just such a lovely touch. They came on first, so before West Coast came out. And as they ran around, it was like the Mexican wave. As they got in front of a certain area, the crowd stood up and gave them a standing ovation. I thought that was absolutely beautiful touch. And then at the end of the game, they went one better, and they gave a more rousing cheer
That was
for a losing opposing side. It was just absolutely remarkable what it showed. It just showed care. They weren't applauding and saying well done. What they were saying is you're not alone and that we care for you, and it was outstanding.
You could just feel, as I said, emotionally charged. It reminded me a lot of, remember Teddy Whitten went round the ground years ago, and you knew he was just about to pass away. He couldn't see, he was blind, and went round waving to the crowd. And
1995 before the state of
tears everywhere there, but just well done to the Eagles fans, to the Perth people, and also the Crows fans that came across. It was just really beautiful to watch, and no doubt Phil Walsh should be proud of everybody.
Keep those calls in and show your tributes. 822 like Lindy and Daniel. You can send us a text. Pixar's got them there, 1999 1395. It is our match review, thanks to Ryco 24/7. The gap at the end was 56 points. Again, irrelevant. 22 goals, 15, 147 to 14 goals, 791. Can I just pay a tribute to the West Coast Eagles players as well, to be professional in the way they went about their business in tough times. And let's not forget that Phil Walsh was out with most of those players, 80% of the players on that list, for 5 years.
They weren't jumping around. They won the game by 10 goals, but to them, and when they clapped, they stood there and clapped the Crows off. I mean, it was just remarkable, and full marks to them. It was brilliantly done. But Crows, they've got to regroup, Roe, for next week, the showdown.
They do.
It's on again.
That again will happen. They got the memorial at 3 o'clock at Wednesday for Phil Walsh at Adelaide Oval. Just that injury report, also thanks to Sportsmed SA, getting you back on track. No injuries to speak of, so if there is a positive, that is one.
Danger, cut mouth, and Jakey Lever.
And I think Danger may have lost a tooth, so he might have a bit of trouble whistling tomorrow. But other than that, nothing to speak of. Unfortunately for Adelaide, when Dangerfield did sort of break that tooth, it kept him off the ground for 7 or 8 minutes, and that was just when, early in that second quarter, when they sort of wrested control off of Adelaide and went on a bit of a scoring spree.
Bix, take us through some of the possession. There's some huge numbers tonight from both teams.
Yeah, look, mainly the West Coast side, I must say, 453 disposals to 331. So they've had 120 more disposals, which is a massive number. The inside 50s told a story as well. Adelaide had just the 37. West Coast Eagles had 73. That is a massive number. So what's that? That's about
double.
36 more they've had. If my maths is correct, which I think it is. So it's a big number. And look, Adelaide, as we said a couple of times, are pretty efficient, really. To kick 14 goals from 37 entries is good, but unfortunately they just had a wall coming back the other way, a tsunami of entries that they were unable to hold out. Just the key possession winners for the West Coast Eagles, first of all, Gaff had 36, Prittis 35, Maston 33, Shuey 31. Those 4 top possession winners all got on the scoreboard as well. Gaff kicked 3, Prittis 1, Maston 1, and Shuey kicked 2. Rose was a good player. He had 28. Then there's just this huge number of players. Sheed, Cripps, Yo, Selwood, Lacroix, they all were in 26th all the way through down to 23. So they're the leading possession winners for the West Coast Eagles side. Nat Nui, I thought he was really influential. He's an interesting player because when you look at his numbers, he ended up with 12 disposals, but he had 39 hit-outs, he had 4 tackles, and he had 7 clearances. So he played such a massive role in the way that the West Coast Eagles go about their stuff. The amount of times they set up their offence through their centre clearances, and when they do get centre clearances, they're running out of the centre square and pumping it deep inside 50, and that was a really important part. Let's look at Adelaide. Dangerfield 36. He was just outstanding. He willed himself to win the footy as often as he could. 21 of those 36 were contested. 12 clearances, 8 tackles. He was just a colossus.
He was awesome.
He was just amazing.
He wanted to do that for Phil.
Hey, Bix, looking in the lad Adelaide, 7-5-1. West Coast Eagles now go to 11-3, so they are firmly in second spot. But it gets tight now, doesn't it? The showdown does assume enormous ramifications for the lose. If Port Adelaide lose, their season's over. Adelaide lose, they could they'll probably drop out of the 8 for the first time for,
and it was
for
actually
the year.
The other game, the result of the Western Bulldogs game, that was a big,
that hurt Adelaide.
Big result in terms of the makeup of the 8, because if they had been upset by Gold Coast, it would have just made it a little bit easier for those teams. The vying for that 7th and 8th spot maybe would have just evened it up a bit, but they end up kicking 10 in the last and getting the win. So that's a result that probably doesn't favour Adelaide at all. Just going back to the other major ball winners for Adelaide, Rory Laird again, he's just knocked up getting the footy. He had 31 at almost 80% efficiency, which is very good numbers. Matt Crouch, really impressed with his game. He had
loved his game.
28 disposals, 12 kicks, 16 handballs. Spent a lot of time going up against Matt Prittis, who is the reigning Brownlow medalist, and look, they butted heads a few times. They went against each other, and whilst Prittis was a really good player, I thought Crouch was really solid for Adelaide as well. Then after that, it was Brodie Smith on 20, so Adelaide, just the 4 players with 20 possessions or more, and as I mentioned, the West Coast Eagles had 9.
Yeah, match review thanks to Ryco. 24-7 that margin again, 56 points West Coast way. Lines available if you want to speak to Bix, Wilds or myself, 8223 000. We've got those text messages as well.
And Ray, don't forget, next week looks like there will be something for the people that can't get in the showdown on the Adelaide Park.
Yes.
And they're expecting Rob Chapman joined us, and he said the county's got some friends at the council. They're going to put something together there. Expects thousands to go. All footy fans, Port fans that can't get in, they can't get a ticket. Crows fans, obviously not their home game, and footy fans. So a couple of big screens. You'll hear the atmosphere, you'll hear the roars, and you'll be able to walk across the bridge if you like and come back on the other side. It should be a great day.
Just got a heap of text messages coming through. This one's from Daniel. It said, what the Crows boys did tonight was courage. It was hard. It was brave. SA footy wins a game. This one here is from Adrian. It says, it's sometimes said that it's just a game. Why then do I feel as though I've lost a mate when I never even knew the man? Perhaps it is because the great game produces great people that before you realise it lifts you up onto their shoulders and take you for a ride that you can't help but get carried away with. Unfortunately, this ride was far too short but will never be forgotten. Rest in peace, Walshy. That's really nice, Adrian. Thank you for that. And another one here just said, boys, Channel 7 cut out the end of the broadcast to go to the tennis. Unbelievably poor judgment and very disappointing. So,
are you kidding?
I hope that they didn't miss too much, and because the people at home needed to see the reception the players got. They needed to see the emotion as the players walked off the ground.
They needed to see the respect. Yeah, that's poor.
Well, let's hope that they...
Is that, Bix, will that be the end of the celebrations now, if you like, or will the showdown be the last one?
Look, I don't know. I think that one of the things, I'm sure, having spoken to a few friends who are Crows members and season ticket holders, that unfortunately next week they're not going to get the opportunity because it's a showdown and of course it's Port's home game. So
that's why Alder Park's going to be important, I reckon.
Yeah, but then the week after, which will be the first time that the Crows season ticket holders have had a chance to go back and sit in their seat and watch their team play, I'm sure they will want to, in some way, be involved or be able to show their respect or do something. And
you know what? It will just organically grow and fade when it organically grows and fades. I think if it happens spontaneously, it will. Whatever that looks like, Bix. And I think it will just happen.
And it happened tonight exactly like that. There's no other outside influences. There was nothing. I think the scoreboard one was interesting. Someone had a sign up that was in the Crows colours that said "Rest in peace, Walshy," and the cameraman on the scoreboard had it up there. It lingered on there for about 30 seconds, and the crowd all sort of started pointing at it, and they all went into a respectful clap, and then they had the players on the screen, and when you could see how upset the players were, the crowd then really did get behind them.
Well, it's the first time I've seen Rob Chapman face to face. We had him on before the show, and again, it's still raw, eight days. We had Shuts, the media manager, come in at half-time, who had to live through all of that and handle it from the minute it happened, to Johnny Worsfold walking out onto the ground, then running out and embracing the West Coast players, to the players coming in, to all the family members, to Rory Sloane and the injured players, Brad Crouch, Matty Yench, all out there. It was just one of those. unbelievable moments. I think that I'll never forget where I was when I've seen all of that. Just the raw emotion, the numbness that is still there 8 days afterwards.
Well, it's
not going to subside any day quickly.
It's probably a bit like when the cricketers had to come back and play on the same deck as when Phil Hughes lost his life getting hit by a ball, and they've seen back on the same park, and it's hard to get through. Remember, the bowlers didn't want to bowl any bounces, and a few of the batsmen thought, this is it's a bit eerie. So we've had some tragedies. Johnny McCarthy, Phil Hughes, Walsh. You go back to David Hooks. It's just very, very sad. All different circumstances, but
Lady Di.
It's just beautifully handled, as we said before. Look, a wicket's fallen too. That seems pretty trivial too, doesn't it? But Australia, Steve Smith is out. So just after lunch, 3 for 101. It looks like England are hurtling towards victory in the first test. We'll take a break and wrap up with all the awards. You've got time to send a call through 8223 0000. Final scores 147 Eagles, 91 Adelaide. But once again, the big day today, footy was definitely the winner. Back with more shortly.
This is 5AA football. Thanks to Agostino Mitsubishi. Best on ground for your new Mitsubishi. Serving Adelaide for over 25 years.
Stephen Rowe and Mark Bickley, the 5AA Sports Show.
Carolyn Wilson, because Melbourne or Victoria can't guarantee the MCG for the first round, maybe the Thursday night opener might be interstate.
Oh, good on you. That's typical coming from an Adelaide person.
Oh, why not? Just share around a little bit.
3 words, Richmond
you
and...
You haven't got to ground the plane at.
Don't be so sarcastic. I'm sure that they'll resolve it before next March.
Rowe and Bix, weekday afternoons from 3, 13.95, Adelaide's 5AA.
Bob, or Poppy Bob to his grandkids, is not a sports legend, but he is a star to his grandkids. So instead of letting osteoarthritis in his shoulder slow him down with chronic pain and restricted movement, he should ask his doctor for a referral to SportsMed SA. They know shoulders, knees and hips. They'll get you back to doing what you love.
Poppy Bob!
Ask your doctor for a referral to SportsMed SA with 7 convenient locations. Visit sportsmed.com.au.
Keith Conlon here for Living Choice Woodcroft, a premier retirement estate on an elevated plateau at 177 Pimpala Road, Woodcroft. Living Choice Woodcroft is setting new standards in retirement living in Adelaide South with modern, spacious villas and apartments, fabulously planned resort-style leisure facilities and 24-hour emergency response. Come and have a look at our fabulous display homes, which are open 7 days, 10 till 4. Phone 1800 502 524 or see livingchoice.com.au.
What does the O stand for in Ovation of the Seas? Oh my God! Ovation is the brand new super innovative ship for Royal Caribbean and the largest ship to ever come to Australia. 18 decks packed with entertainment, dining, endless activities and groundbreaking technology. Experience the wow of Ovation from Singapore to Adelaide. 11 nights departing November 30, 2016. From only $1,879 per person twin share, this cruise will sell out. Call Phil Hoffman Travel or pht.com.au.
No plans for dinner tonight? Why not treat the family to something nice that doesn't come from a box? If you're anywhere near South Road, Edwardstown, stop at the Maid of Auckland. At the Maid, it's all about the food, with a great new look dining area and a new menu. You'll find pub classics, daily specials and great seniors deals. You can dine all day too, and there's plenty of convenient parking. Tonight's dinner is ready-made. The Maid of Auckland, South Road, Edwardstown. What are you having?
The Master Builders Home Improvement Show.
It's simply the best.
Yes, with the latest home products to see, try and buy at great show prices. There's hundreds of renovation, building and decor ideas, plus energy solutions, kitchens, bathrooms and expert advice.
It's simply the best.
If you're renovating or building, don't miss the Master Builders Home Improvement Show. Adelaide Showground, July 17 to 19. Details kjex.com.au.
Very well coached.
Okay, let's go down to hear Scott Camperelli and Tex Walker.
They played really well tonight.
All aboard. 5AA wants you.
Do you feel in the end it served a purpose to get the team just going again and understanding that the footy does go on?
Yeah, I think so, Rich. It's one of those things that there was a lot of firsts this week. First pre-match, first training session, first, a lot for the players, and they've been through a lot. This footy club's been through a lot this week. I think you can ask the players, but I think they were just keen to get out there and just play again and get that one out of the way, I guess, and move forward. And we've still got a fair bit of work to do, and we understand that, and we'll still be driving for the same vision that we set out at the start of the year.
How did you handle it as a coach? Did you do it the normal thing of requesting messages, or did you at times feel you had to back off because what this game was doing to the players?
Oh no, the message was really clear. What we got out of each quarter, half-time, three-quarter time break were really clear messages. So there was no ranting or raving. It was what we needed to do to try and win the game. The players were in pretty good headspace during the game. Looking at them in those breaks, they were all there. The conversations we were having in the breaks were all footy related and all focused on the job. So it was just good to get that one out of the way, that's for sure.
What do you think happened in the second quarter? You got right on top of quarter time and just massive 54-point turnaround in the quarters.
Yeah, no, I think we probably lost our way around stoppage. We turned the ball over in bad positions on the ground, and as you well know, you turn the ball over at AFL level, and particularly a skilled team like the Eagles, they go straight back at you and kick a score like they did. So to have, I think it was 6 inside 50s for the quarter, they locked it in their front half, and we struggled at times to get it out.
You're proud of what the boys did in the third term, given that it looked like it ugly in that second.
Yeah, no, I am. On a personal note, for these guys to reset themselves, they probably could have thrown the towel in, I guess, and said it's too hard today. But as a group and as a footy club, particularly Phil, he wouldn't have wanted that. He drives really hard standards, and us as a group and the leadership group drive really hard standards. So we had a man conversation at half-time about what we need to do to get back in the game. It was pretty simple. We had to get our hands on the ball. We just didn't touch the ball in that second quarter. So footy's a very simple game. We can look too far into it at times, but at the end of the day, we just didn't have the ball in our hands, and West Coast had it and scored. So, but yeah, proud. As I said, I couldn't have been prouder with the response in that third quarter, and that shows real resilience of this group.
What was it like with Tyler out on the ground? Was it difficult to stay focused, or did you just click into becoming footballers and game on?
No, I think as the week went on, we started to get back into routine, and whilst she has set such a cornerstone, Campo kept it simple for the whole week, and we knew exactly what we had to do. So we just needed 22 blokes to play their role, and obviously we didn't play that well in the second quarter, but I thought second half, and especially the first quarter, we played Crows footy.
It's going to take time. Is that the real answer here? It's just going to take time to move on?
It's $1 million question, Rich. We've got 45 guys that had different relationships with Phil, different emotions about the situation. But what we've put in place as a coaching group and a club, we've got the support mechanisms behind the players. There comes a time where we need to move on, and we need to keep getting better. We need to keep buying in as to what we're going to go after. We keep training the things that we're going to go after, and we don't deviate from that.
Last couple guys. How do you feel you've actually now played the game, that it's back to the footy again?
Like I said, as soon as we could get back to routine, the better it was for the players, and 45 blokes, coaches, whole admin staff. Everyone's got different emotions, so it's just good to get back out there.
What about you, Dan? Have you feel better for having played
17-6?
Yeah, I do. The emotion probably hit me at the end of the game.
Their way.
Yeah, it was tough getting through that game, and in that last quarter especially. Your mind kind of did wander, but as I said, really proud of all the guys tonight to front up and play the way we did and stand up at times. I think it was a really good effort, and it's definitely good to get the first one out of the way, and we'll just keep things normal, as Tex and Campo said. Keep working hard, keep doing the things that we learned off Walshy in the short time that we knew him. So it's great to get through it.
Thanks guys, appreciate your time tonight. Last one, Rich.
Can you enjoy the footy again this year, do you think?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think footy is the game that you love and you want to play, and we're all here to do that. So we're going to do it together as a group. what we've been through this week has just made us stronger, and yeah, of course, we love the game.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate your time. Rob, chat now.
Campo, Daniel Taylor and Taylor Walker. They're well done, boys, fronting up to the presser, and as Daniel Taylor said, yep, we can enjoy a footy. That's a game we love to play. Bix, you've got the all-important awards to do.
Yes, we have. Look, let's first of all do Bix's bullseye. We talked about how many individual goal scorers that Adelaide would have. They end up with 8, which wasn't a disastrous number. That was Brett.
You thought if they had 8, they probably they kicked 14 goals, didn't
they? Yeah. So Brett was the winner there. He selected that number 8. So good on you, Brett. You win the $50 Powers voucher. In terms of the 5AA Phil Hoffman Travel Goal of the Year contender.
Oh.
Exactly. There was only one that really stood out, and that was it was a bit of conjecture. I thought that maybe there was an ounce of luck in it, that he mightn't have caught it quite as he liked. Rowie was quite happy to suggest that he deliberately did that. I'm not sure, but I'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
He does it too often to be a fluke, though.
He knew what he was doing.
He was very, very clever the way he went about it. The 5AA, so that's the Phil Hoffman Travel Goal of the Year contenders are Eddie Betts. The 5AA Adelaide Fresh Tonia Marks Mark of the Year contender was a one very late in the ground. It was Josh Jenkins in the forward pocket. He got a bit of a run up at it, jumped up and took it right up high above his eyes. And
Crouchy was some bad little.
Oh, I like Crouchies
in the gully catch.
What about Eddie Betts in the pocket when he kicked
I think it was just. I get to choose. So for me, it was Josh Jenkins. It was more of your
not fighting tonight.
More of your high mark, which I liked. Now in terms of choice, I gave 3 votes to Patrick Dangerfield. I thought he was outstanding. The numbers are standalone. 36 disposals, 12 clearances, 21 of those contested, 8 tackles, so he's a leading tackler as well. So he got 3 votes. 2 votes to Rory Laird. He was very, very good. Early on in the game, Rory Laird and Jake Lever were outstanding when it was all against them in the first quarter. Those 2 guys were holding up very strongly. He went on to have 31 disposals at 77% disposal efficiency, which was very good. And the 1 vote, now I agonised over this a little bit. I thought Matt Crouch was quite good.
Oh, he was.
I thought Charlie Cameron at different stages was good until he was starved of opportunities later in the game. But I gave it to Rick Henderson. So 1 vote to Henderson. He had the 18 disposals. He was going at 85% disposal efficiency.
Okay.
A bit smelly, you think?
Smelly?
Who were you thinking of?
Oh, yeah, Crouch. No, Crouch Easily ahead of him.
But Crouch played.
Dangerfield led Crouch all day, every day.
Crouch played on Matt Priddis. Now you have to have some
36 to 30, wasn't
it? No, you have to have some sort of relevance to these guys. Were going against each other.
Who did Henderson play on?
Henderson had a number of players down back.
Had a few goals.
Who did Paddy play on?
Sorry?
Who did Paddy play on?
Paddy played on a bit of Matt Rosa.
Nix! No, I'd like you to change that.
Can you change the last one?
Sorry.
I think you need to
You've
change.
given Henderson a vote tonight.
Oh, please.
Yeah, sorry, I've seen a different game too.
No, I'm not going to fight with you because it's an emotional
game. Take it.
No, take it.
7 defensive marks, 18 disposals.
How many contested?
4. Anyway, that's the way I've gone. That's the way I've seen it. As I mentioned, there was probably 3 or 4 blokes. I did give
I'm only going to cut you some slack.
Matt Crouch an honourable mention. He was.
The lads
I'll
have
cut
31
you some
possessions.
slack because the support that you gave us when that plane got struck with lightning.
Yeah.
When we took off today, there you go.
All right, we got to go. It's been an emotional night, no doubt about that. Handled beautifully by everyone here at Domain Stadium.
Classy.
Eagles too good, no doubt about that. But Adelaide, well, they played their first game. They got the showdown next week, which will be on 5AA. The Sunday roast tomorrow, then I'm sure Rowie and Bix back together on Monday. There'll be so much to talk about. Port Adelaide's great win and just the effect it had on the footy club. On behalf of the team, Mark Bickley and Stephen Rowe, David Woody signing off, Cam in the studio. Been a big night. Adelaide down by 56 points, but once again, as we said, a massive game next week. They play Port Adelaide. This is how the night unfolded. Priddis can kick a goal and does. This side here are scary. They're working in the Cameron direction again. He's got one little fella. Can look at the goals. Nonchalantly around the body. He's got 2.
He goes long into the forward line. Eddie Betts! He's marked the miraculous one. Kicks around his body. I love him. Betts has marked the 10 deep off the 1 step. Kick the goal. I love him. Fly out the back. Joe Cairns takes hits a mark on the goal square. Boy, oh boy, I love him.
It's just an exciting game right now. They look up and about Adelaide. It's a hot game, that's what it is.
They've cranked it up, the Eagles. Cranked it up. McGrath somehow has. Gave it to Yo. Yo will kick around his body. He loves it. It's a goal.
Kennedy salutes. 5 goals in a row for the West Coast Eagles.
Goal, bang, boom, out.
Yeah.
Douglas Falls, right goal away here. Can he finish? Oh, Hossie Kent, terrific kick right.
They just didn't respond quickly enough, Adelaide. And there was, like you said, a little gaggle of Eagles just in the middle of the 50-metre area.
A gaggle?
I don't know.
Come on, boys, have fire. Crows can win this. They can dead set win it. I know that's being a little bit optimistic, but they can dead set win it. Here's a go. He left Charlie Cameron. Can he handle over to Matty Wright? Matty Wright can give it off down to 90. Goal! 90! Here comes the Crows! Here's a go. The three-quarter tour. Out the back. Yo, goal! Yo, goal! Yo, goal! 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 Out!
It's going to be really interesting now. Adelaide have got to find some pluck and just make sure that this just doesn't get away from them now.
Crows have got to fight this out. They will make no mistake. Nikes. He'd love 2. He loved it right off the boot. He signalled, I like it a lot. Great goal by the young man in Riley Knight. Darling can kick it over the top or kick a goal. Or kicks a softball. Oh boy.
Flabbergasted is what I am.
Come on, finish off strongly, Crows. Goes long to Eddie Betts. He licked his little lips like a little mouse. Now it's outside 50. He's on his left leg. He's got to top the ball into the goal square. He's gone the left. Bounce. Rubbing kick. Get it. Yo! Eddie Betts. He meant that. Oh. There it is. Siren goes. They've been too big, too strong, too good. An emotional game. Every single Crow player down on their haunches.
Gone, aren't they?
Bent over. They're absolutely gone. If you can take a snapshot of this, all with their hands in their head.
The hush is around Domain Stadium now as the players go to the circle.
Adam Simpson, Scott Camporeale.
Just stand there and have their minute's silence. Fine-tuning stuff there. Every man, woman, child stood up, paid their respects. The players in the centre of the ground. It's a sport. And that's all it is, it's a sport.
There's some tears out there, Paddy. They're streaming down his face.
Sam Jacobs.
Ricky Hennessy.
Really striking. What about the reception from the crowd? It's outstanding.
This is 5AA football. Thanks to Agostino Mitsubishi. Best on ground for your new Mitsubishi.